Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. He is Jason, the chosen one. I am Greg, also known as the Oracle. And we'll get into a little bit more of that later on today, Jay, because, man, I swear when I say something, it is always factual and it always comes to fruition. So that's why they call me the Oracle in the chat. That's why they call me the Oracle, Jay. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into it, man. First and foremost, let's start off by giving the proper thank yous to the people that support the channel, Rockdog Interactive. If you need anything in regards to your website design or logo design, anything of that nature, anything technical, make sure you reach out to Rockdog Interactive and reach out to us directly if you need to get in contact with Rockdog Interactive. And then also, Nadaz Vodka, www.nadazvodka.com. The best tasting vodka, Jay, I've had in quite some time. Got that kiwi flavor to it. It is black owned, African American owned, out of Jacksonville, Florida, and it is in select stores in Florida, so make sure you go check them out. All right, Jay, let's see who are the people that are currently in the chat. We got 33 people now. Smash the like button, dog. Smash the like button. It is 100% free when you smash the like button. It doesn't cost you anything. Make sure you smash that if you're in the building. Let's see what we got. Lil J, what's going on with your fam? Brandon House, salute. Andre Noble, what's going on with your fam?
Oh,
And none
man.
of your business. Salute Greg and Jay. Salute chat fam. Appreciate you. Let's go. Jay, where you want to start off at, man?
Yeah, first off, I want to start off by apologize for missing last week and letting everyone know I don't do no drugs, man. I don't do no needles like Greg tried to say last week, But yeah, I'm clean as a whistle. My clients, when I was a personal trainer, my clients were clean as a whistle as well. Now Greg on the other side, we saw what he was going through last week with the little mood changes and everything. So he might be the one be doing a little something. But yeah.
I have people who will corroborate the fact that you injected folks in their ass with all types of nandrolone and any other substance that would make them perform better. And you also took injections. I have people that will call in today and corroborate it. So let's go.
I know who you're talking about. They full of shit too. They
No, they're
got it
not.
from you.
Nope, they didn't get it from me. They know you just like I know you.
They did. But yeah, man. So let's see what we want to start off with. So Deontay Wilder, we know he
Yeah,
had a
let's go.
tough loss
Yeah,
against Big Bang Zane, got knocked out. It was
yeah.
a rough outing for him. We shown our concern. We did a video earlier this week showing concern that we think like maybe he should hang him up. Of course it's going to be ultimately his choice, but the way he's looked in his last few fights, it's Tyson, that trilogy against Tyson Fury, put a toll on, I feel. I didn't like the way he looked against Joseph Park because he did the same thing against Big Bang Zane that he did against Joseph Park. When I was telling you, when I was watching the Joseph Park fight, I was like, why is he going escaping to Joseph Parker's power side every
Yeah.
time? He went to the right side, went to the right side, and Parker kept hitting him, but Parker didn't have the power to get him up out of there. Fast forward to Big Bang Zane, same thing with Big Bang. Bang got him up out of there. He went to his strong side like that. It was just an awkward way Wilder went down when he got caught, and then turned around like, "Hey, what's going on? Why you hit me?" And then he got caught again and got dropped. So I mean, he got some other stuff going on in his personal life as well. So I hope Wilder can get everything together. Hope whatever's going on in their personal life is not true. I won't go into details on that. Y'all can look up that for your own time. But I wish Wilder the best. But if he mulling a return, I hope not just yet. But we'll see. What's your thoughts on that, man?
Yeah, let me go in. Let me just start off by saying this. You mentioned that, right? You said you're not going to go into what goes on in his personal life. If you guys have noticed this, and I do want to put this out there, I've seen this stuff all across the social media. I've seen it all across other content creators, posts and things of that nature. You guys have not seen a video from us in regards to any personal issues with Deontay Wilder. We don't do that on this channel. We keep it strictly sport, strictly
Yeah.
boxing. We if it's business related, if it's your talent, that's all within the realm of fair game. But if it's related to your personal life, we don't do videos on folks' personal lives. So if someone gets arrested or they have some kind of whatever, you didn't see anything. I know there's a lot of stuff floating out there about Ryan Garcia. You didn't see any videos from us about that either. So that's not what we do here, man. We don't get into people's personal lives. So when people say that we haters like that, and we y'all hate on folks. Nah, we don't hate on people, man, because if we did, we'd be getting in their personal lives trying to bring that up and make them look bad. We don't do that. All right, man. Friend of the show, Tay Jones, he made a comment on the Bread Man's post stating that, it's, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was something like stand by or something like that, right? As though,
Yeah.
Deontay Wilder may not be retiring. Personally, I think Deontay should go ahead and ride off into the sunset because honestly, what else is there for Deontay Wilder to prove? I don't see Deontay Wilder needing to prove anything else. He had a glorious career. When you consider that he got started in boxing late, and he was able to become the WBC champion. Man, that's an amazing accomplishment, dog. So if that's the case,
Yeah.
and you've been able to do all that, you've traveled the world, you fought in championship fights, you fought probably the best fighter of your era in Tyson Fury, and you lost. And there were circumstances around that fight that looked shady in regards to the gloves. But at the end of the day, you had an amazing career. And, is there room for criticism in regards to Deontay Wilder? Of course, there's room for criticism in regards to all fighters. But he's had an amazing career. There's no reason for him to come back and try to fight again, as far as I'm concerned. But it's his choice. If they're going to license him, it's his choice. If he wants to come back and try to redeem himself and take one last shot at becoming champion again. If it were me, I would think about maybe dropping down. I think what he came in the ring at, 214.
Yeah, he could drop down to what? Cruiser? I think Bridgerweight is what they're doing now.
I thought it was cruiserweight at 200.
Yeah, it's either cruiser or Bridger what they trying to do. Because he had actually talked about that a couple of years ago, a few years I think before he fought Tyson. He thought about saying that he might go down and try to get a belt there and be a champion at both weight classes, but it just don't seem like his heart's in it, man. Since that second Tyson Fury fight and the third fight when he fought was it Hellenius? I believe it was Hellenius. I mean, that was his good friend of his, sparring partner, and everything. He didn't even look right in that one. He was very remorseful, worried about Hellenius the way because he dropped him in the first round with one punch. He only threw like 3 punches the whole fight in that first round. So it's like, especially being heavyweights and being the fact that Wilder wasn't the one that had the most boxing prowess type of skills. He relied on that power. If one people you see, he always said he'd do the tap with the jab and then come with the big right. People got wind of that, so they know what's coming. He really didn't really completely evolve fully. But to your point, he started boxing super late.
Yeah.
And for what he's accomplished, started boxing so super late, just strictly off athleticism and power. I give him credit on that. I just want him to be healthy, be whatever he needs to do to be his healthiest self, because it's got family and whatnot. So just the way he is, the what he's done for his child and stuff like that. I like what he's done on that side there, and I just don't like seeing fighters get old this fast in the ring, because boxing is not something you play. We look at someone like Adonis Stevenson. Adonis Stevenson wasn't an old fighter when he got hurt in that ring. He wasn't in his prime, but he wasn't over the hill per se. And where Deontay is taking a lot of punishment, bro. He's taking a lot of punishment. It's not like he's just going and just getting outboxed. He's getting dropped. He's taking a lot of shots to the head, and that's worrisome for him. So, of course, it's going to be up to him and his team to do what they would do. But I just hope he got some people in his corner and not just yes men. Yeah. To tell him like, hey, Deontay, we need to retool some things. If you're really serious about this, we got to retool some things and see where you at. Really got to see where you at, but it's on him,
Yeah, let me address somebody in the chat section.
What? They really I know who you talking about.
Yeah, Dragoo 98. Fanon is the big homie, bro. I got Fanon. I got Fanon's telephone number. I talk to Fanon regularly. Fanon is the big homie, bro. So there is no debate between Fanon and myself. I'm not sure why you came in here to say that. I've been on Fanon's channel on multiple occasions, and I don't think Fanon has been on our channel per se, but he's been in the live chat before. So
in the chat, yeah.
So
he reaches out to us and stuff. I'm like, I saw that. I was like, wait a minute, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm not.
This ain't we ain't taking no shots at nobody for one. Definitely not for none. Like Greg said, that's the big homie.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. So yeah. Anyway, and I know some of y'all don't care for Fanon on our channel. I love Fanon. That's my dude. Now we do operate a little bit differently, but yeah, Fanon, that's my dude.
Yeah.
All right. So Jay, do you got any other thoughts on? I saw somebody say that he needs a new trainer. That I think that maybe, and no shade to Malik Scott, because I don't want to sound like I'm shading him. And I felt like he was doing what's in the best interest, at least what he felt was in the best interest of Deontay Wilder in regards to trying to hone his technical skills. But I think Deontay was a little bit long in the tooth and late in the game to try to hone his technical skills. It was more so clean up some deficiencies and then allow Deontay Wilder to be Deontay Wilder. And I think maybe to some extent he's limited who Deontay Wilder is just based off of some of the teachings that he's given Deontay over the last, several months, if you will. And so I could see maybe either Malik has to change his approach or Deontay maybe needs to find a different coach.
Yeah, I mean, for me, with Malik Scott, the way Malik just was talking like he was like the Don Dada of training. That I'm sitting there like, I'm like, come on, Malik. I'm like, I quite won't doubt that you know your stuff. You don't have to be a great boxer to be a great trainer. Usually it's the exact opposite. It's usually you're not a good fighter, but you can train and tell people what not to do and get them in shape and whatnot. But he just thought he was acting like he has the best knowledge in boxing training history. Almost like I was like, just chill, Malik. But I mean, he has some fighters. I know he has Zurdo Ramirez that he's been working with. Got a couple of wins, whatnot. But I don't know if it was all on Malik. I just think it was a perfect storm for the ending of where Deontay Wilder eventually fell in his last few fights, where he fell short, whether he got knocked out by Big Bang Zhang and losing to Tyson Fury two of the last 3 times, or just losing to UD to Joseph Parker. I just don't think he's really in it that much like that mentally.
Hey, let me shout out a couple of people in the chat. Shout out to Santos, Zach. Forgive me, guys. I may not respond to you a lot in the chat. My arm is still pretty bad, so it's hard for me to get it over there to the keyboard to actually start typing. So if I don't say salute, it's not because I don't see you. It's because I'm still struggling a bit with typing and moving back and forth between my mouse and my keyboard. Oh, Ryan Print is in the building. Dragoo came in here holding Fanon nuts on his shoulder. Ooh, damn. All right. All right, man. Anything else we want to share about this? I mean, Wilder, I wish him well. Whatever decision it is that he makes, I hope it's a good one for him, and I hope it ends up turning out well. Again, you will not find us talking about people's personal affairs on this channel. I don't give a damn what's going on in your personal life. That's not my business. I care about the sport. I care about what you're doing from a business perspective. Outside of that, I don't care. Any thoughts on any other thoughts on that, Jay?
Nah, agreed.
Santos asked us about Bomac and would Bomac be a good trainer. I tell you guys all the time, you're not as good as your best win, and you're not as bad as your worst. I don't know. People feel that Bomac now is the ultimate trainer because of what happened on July 29th. It really depends on the trainer, the trainer style, and how it meshes with the fighter. Could Bomac mesh with him? Possibly. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah, it's nothing against Bomac. I'm not sure if any trainer at this time at this stage in this game. It's hard to treat the old dog new tricks. I mean, it's bad hard. Malik Scott's been there. Mark Breland was there before that. So I mean, I don't know if Bomac could help. How much Bomac could help him at this point stage in his career.
Yeah.
And to Jake's point, Jake's like, Bomac can't fight for you. Exactly. No trainer can fight for him. So
exactly right.
You definitely need some people in the corner that's going to tell him, whether it's trainers or anyone else, to tell him the real. It just can't be a bunch of yes men, no matter what he's deciding to do. He needs people that's going to be there for his best interest. Because I think Deontay's the type, he's his own worst enemy. He's going to keep fighting until the very bitter end, no matter what. That's a great thing to have, but it's also a bad thing to have. So he needs someone to kind of level him off a little bit.
Yeah.
Despite how mad he may be, but it's for his best interest.
But before we move on to the next, we got 74 people in the building, 26 likes. Make sure you smash the like button or the dislike button if you don't like the content, but make sure you engage with the content. And if you're new to the channel, this is the Angry Man Podcast, AM Sports Media. Jason and I are always dropping boxing related content on a regular basis, so make sure you become a subscriber. Subscribers, think about becoming members. Membership is $2.99 a month. It helps to support the channel for us to continue to bring this great content to you, and also from a contribution perspective. Hey, again, if you guys are willing and able to do it, think about giving us a super chat. It does help us to continue to bring you this great content. And oh, by the way, on this channel, you do not get blocked. You got a voice. You get to come on here and talk specifically during our live streams. You have a voice to voice your opinion, whether you agree with us or not. And you can check us out in the Discord. We can also get the opportunity to debate. Jason and I, we are always there, or at least for the most part, we're in there chopping it up. So make sure you guys check us out in the AM Sports Lounge in our Discord. All right, Jay, what's the next?
Get live in there.
It gets competitive in there for sure. For sure.
We got some heavy hitters in there. John Mack, Band Up, Brian S. Just to name a few that be in there.
Yeah, it's a lot of them. Captain, the Lender for Life. All of them in there.
Corner, man, they be in there. It'd be fun in there, man. People be some people be sharing some stuff that we didn't even see, or some stuff we've seen, and it's great debates and great conversation. And it's all for the good of both.
Can we really say it's great debates? Because I really just cook them ninjas. I cook them in there. That's why they call me the Oracle, bruh. Because I cook them. Anyway, let's go. What's the next topic?
Yeah. So you touched on this one a little bit more than I did. So Tyson Fury does 1.5 million pay-per-view buys. Does Turki have a game plan?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was reported because a lot of people were talking about the fact that I was talking about, and we'll get on this topic a little bit later, but Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, and they said, when are you going to talk about the pay-per-view sales with Tyson Fury? And I didn't get the opportunity to do a video, but I do want to talk about it here on the live stream. So they did 1.5 million pay-per-view buys. That is a lot, Jay. We know that it's a lot. It was primarily driven by the UK, where apparently Tyson Fury is wildly popular. However, that 1.5 million only generated roughly $50 million in pay-per-view sales, which is not a lot considering. And that really lends, that really solidifies, or what's the word I'm looking for? It corroborates, I guess, the fact that we've heard on multiple occasions that over in the UK and other places in the world, you don't get the same level of pay-per-view dollars because you can't charge that high rate like they do over here in the United States, right? So they did another $40 million in advertising and another $3 million, I think, in ticket sales or gate or something like that. So overall, I think it did roughly $93 million. But what I heard was that the purses were $100 million plus, which means that was a net loss, right? And so I have talked about this in the past. I know we talked about it last week. I think it was last week that we talked about it. Shout out to the boxing source that came on. They talked about, he heard that it was a $100 million loss. For I think it was Tyson Fury versus I can't remember which fight it was that he said it was a $100 million loss. I'm drawing a blank right now. I don't want to say something wrong, but anyway, Saudi Arabia and Turki Al-Sheikh, they've been losing money on these events. Now, I do understand that what they're trying to do is establish themselves in the world. They're trying to diversify their portfolio in terms of what they're doing, right? So they're an oil-based organization or country, and they're trying to diversify themselves and then change their standing throughout the world. And that's the reason why they're willing to take a loss on some of these activities in order to kind of infiltrate, if you will, some of these different areas of entertainment in order to just improve their standing, right? And that's fine. That's great. That makes perfect sense. However, you're not going to continue to lose millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars just to improve your standing, because there's other ways to improve your standing in the world. So I think it's interesting that, people think that Turki Al-Sheikh is like the savior of, and I see somebody got all things Turkey on, Turkey on the lease. Sorry, I thought he was trying to tell me how to pronounce it. But people get upset with me when I say that I don't know if Turki Al-Sheikh is truly the savior of boxing, because right now the way that he's doing it, and I get it, that's great. He's bringing us some of the best fights, if you will. However, the model isn't sustainable, and most of you guys know that I have a business background, so it's always very important to me to understand the business aspect of things. And I know that the business aspect of things is also the reason why fights are made, right? That's how fights are made, or that's why fights are not made. So you got to understand that part of it as well. And so with an unsustainable model, how long will Turki Al-Sheikh in Saudi Arabia be in boxing? That's always been my question. And people get upset with me and they say, Greg, you're on PBC nuts. You don't want to accept the fact that Turki Al-Sheikh is the new big dog in boxing. And it's not that. It's that the model, like if you come in, Jay, you can come in any place, and if you're overpaying for a product, you can become the big dog of that arena, right? That's fine, but that's not sustainable. How long can you do it? So I like what Turki Al-Sheikh is doing right now, but he got to get it to a point where it's a sustainable model, so that people, or so that the sport will be in a good place. But continuing to pay people, $100 million plus between two different fighters on a card, not sustainable. It's not sustainable. And then what's so interesting as well, Jay, and I want to point this out because we had speaking of the Discord, Jay, they talked about this and they said, and we were talking about Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. Most promoters, they're not releasing pay-per-view numbers anymore. Turki Al-Sheikh hasn't released any pay-per-view numbers. But he just did. Why? because it did a great number. That's why.
Yep.
And when it does a piss poor number, you won't hear anything. Nothing has changed in the sport of boxing. Nothing has changed. It's all the same stuff, right? They're doing the exact same thing. I don't know why they're trying to make it seem as though things have changed. Nothing has changed. When it does well, they tell you. When it doesn't do well, they don't. So get all that stuff out of your mind talking about, oh, the reason why they're just not really releasing pay-per-view numbers anymore. The reason why so-and-so ain't released the pay-per-view numbers because they don't really have to. Stop it. Great pay-per-view numbers are marketing tools for your fighter. The point of having a manager or a promoter is for that promoter to promote you. What better way to promote you than to say that you are the face of boxing because you're doing outrageous pay-per-view numbers? If your promoter is not doing that, then he is doing you an injustice. If he is not announcing that you are doing 7, 8, 900, a million pay-per-view buys, specifically if those are the largest pay-per-view numbers we've seen over the last 18 to 24 months, he's doing you a disservice. Therefore, there is no reason why a promoter will not allow you or tell you the pay-per-view numbers if those pay-per-view numbers were good or bad. There's no reason. So the only reason that they're not going to show or tell you what the pay-per-view numbers were because they were under expectations. Period. End of freaking story. So I don't know who needed to hear that in the Discord, who I already cooked about a week or so ago. But I can tell you, if you call in here today talking that same craziness, now I'm going to cook you in front of the general public. Anyway, Jay, what's your thoughts?
So speaking of numbers and pay, Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney claim they haven't been paid yet. They haven't been paid. Ryan even disclosed that he don't believe the numbers either. That he said they did 1.5 million. He don't believe the numbers. He was a participant in the fight. So I mean, to your point about numbers, when numbers are good, it's always you yell it. You yell it. When you have a success, you yell it. You put it out there. When you have a failure, you don't put that out there. You try to avoid. You try to hide that, conceal it as much as possible till you have success again. So why wouldn't you put the numbers out there if they were good? Which is BS because they weren't good. That's just easy to see they weren't good. But it's funny that they both said that Ryan came out and said, yeah, he wants his money. Where is he at? And everything. And then Devin said the same. And Tank is a savage. Tank just laughing at both of them on there with laughing emojis on there like he does. Then Oscar comes out. He comes out and says, hey, you guys got paid what you're supposed to get paid. No one said what they got paid, of course, at that point. On that. But we just know that they talking about pretty much, I believe they're talking about the back end. They're not going to get a back end because it didn't do the numbers that they tried to, that people said it did, Jerry.
Yeah, so let me jump in here. Salute everybody. Somebody just hit me up and said somehow ads are jumping into the
in the live stream?
In the live stream. Ads should not be in the live stream because we don't have that cut on. So I don't forgive me for that, guys. I don't know why that's happening. We don't have that cut on. But let me say this. Jay, this is why they call me the Oracle. This is why they call me the Oracle, Jay. Because I predict what's going to happen, man. And my disciples in the Discord, they need to start following the way of Greg, the Oracle. I know I'm an asshole. I know it. But no, all seriousness. I said this, Jay. How many weeks ago, Jay? How many weeks ago did I say this? Okay, so number one, when you have pay-per-view numbers, hold up, before I go there, I want to say something. Express Sports Channel say, why do you fixate on pay-per-view numbers? What about the gate numbers? Gate numbers and pay-per-view numbers go hand in hand, bro. If your pay-per-view numbers are good, your gate numbers were good. If your gate numbers were good, your pay-per-view numbers were good. You seldom see those things diverge. But anyway, so as I was saying, I said that if you are, that is a great marketing tool. If you are if you do 500,000 pay-per-view buys in this era, over the last 24 months, that will put you in the top 10 pay-per-view numbers, probably even top 5 or right outside the top 5. So, maybe tied for number 5 or 6, something like that, right? So that's a great marketing tool to tell everyone that you are a pay-per-view star. That's how you promote your fighter. Again, dereliction of duty if you do not promote your fighter in that manner when they're doing those types of numbers, period. Okay? So I told him that. And then I saw people in the Discord trying to argue that Ryan Garcia said he made $50 million and that Devin Haney made $35 million. Well, that's $85 million. Even if you back out the $10 million that Ryan Garcia could have made in gambling on himself, let's just use the 50 and the 35. That's $85 million. At $85 million, you would need to sell 1.2 million pay-per-views just to get to that. That's before anybody else got paid. There's no way they guaranteed him that amount of money off of 1.2. That makes the numbers don't make any sense, right? So I cooked them there, right? And so Devin had already mentioned that he was trying to get in contact with Oscar De La Hoya. That was like weeks ago. And not only that, I had heard of a pay-per-view number. You know, I'm not going to go and talk about pay-per-view numbers here, but I had heard a pay-per-view number on this fight. So I know the fight didn't do that, right? So you look and you see Ryan Garcia saying that, oh, I haven't been paid. And then Devin Haney chimes in and says he hasn't been paid. Those two gentlemen, I guarantee you, have been paid. You know, I actually believe Oscar De La Hoya in this regard. And seldom do I believe Oscar De La Hoya, but I do in this regard. They got paid, they're guaranteed, but they ain't getting no back end. Them brothers looking for a back end. That's what they looking for, because the back end takes several weeks to come. And I talked about this on the video that I did yesterday, I believe it was. Them brothers looking for back end. And when Ryan Garcia says there's no way that those numbers are real, he's talking about the numbers that have already been provided to him from Golden Boy. And those numbers were probably putrid. And that's why he said there's no way those numbers are real. But anyway, I still want to get paid my money. Those numbers are real. Your gate was only 4.3. As I mentioned before, gates and pay-per-view numbers go hand in hand. Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence, 700,000 pay-per-view buys, $20 million at the gate. Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia, 1.2 million buys, 22.8 million at the gate. Caleb Plant versus
Canelo.
Plant. Sorry, Caleb Plant versus Canelo. I'm trying to remember. What was it? Was it 17 million at the gate? Something like that. But regardless, pay-per-view numbers and gates go hand in hand. So at the end of the day, these dudes did not make that money. They did not do anything close to that. So you didn't get paid that. All that back-end money, Ryan Garcia walked out of that thinking they were about to do big business. Tank Davis was the real draw in that fight. Now, when you add him to Ryan Garcia, who's a social media darling, that made for an explosive event. I give Ryan credit for that. Ryan was a participant in that, and he did help drive those pay-per-view stars. But those pay-per-view buys. But the major driver of that event was Gervonta Tank Davis. It was. It is what it is. So I hope you guys in the Discord now, when that information dropped and we put it in the Discord, everybody that was arguing against me, Jay, did you see anybody arguing that nobody, it was quiet? What they say, quiet as a church mouse?
Quiet. Yeah.
That's why they call me the.
I ain't see nothing though.
That's why they call me the Oracle, but really it's not that I'm the Oracle. It's just that I use logic. I don't use my emotion to make my decisions or come to my conclusion. I look at relevant information. I don't need to have seen the books or any of that other shit that people try to use to say, you haven't seen the numbers. You don't see the numbers. Have you actually seen the contract? You don't need to see the contract to use your goddamn God-given logic and understanding to figure out if something doesn't make any damn sense. Now, if you don't use your God-given logic and understanding, then that's your business. That's probably why so many fucked up things happen to y'all. All right, Jay, go ahead, man. I've said my piece.
Yeah, so speaking of like ways of trying to drum up business and everything.
Hold on. Before you move to another topic? You moving to another topic?
Yeah.
Hold on, before you do, Molly Mall 199. Did Ryan tank the fight or Devin a pay-per-view? I don't think Ryan. Personally, I think somebody. When in America have we not wanted to see a car crash? We love to see a disaster in America. That's why we got so many shows, so many reality shows, because we like to see a mess, a complete disaster.
Mama.
Ryan Garcia and his antics did not ruin that fight. It's just that they ain't pay-per-view draws. My boy just sent me a message saying fake ass Oracle ninja trying to be me and shit. Anyway, all right, let's keep it pushing. I see the Casanova pugilist said the wrongical. Nah, man, I'm the oracle, brother. It's okay, man. It's okay to accept my genius. I told y'all, I took the practice Mensa test, man. I scored a 122. And that's that's I'm not a genius, Jay, but you know, I'm like in the 92 percentile, Jay. You know. So that's okay, man. Accept my genius, man. Accept my brilliance. Why can't they do that? Why can't they give me my flowers while I'm here, Jay? You know? All right, man. Let's go ahead and move on.
Can't give someone flowers they give them themselves. That's you. Barry Hollowitz, folks. For y'all youngins, look him up on YouTube and see what he does.
All right, man.
Yeah, all day, every day.
Oh goodness. All right, man.
Well, yeah. So talk about like events and participation as far as like selling out and things of that nature there. So it's been rumored that Eminem will now be performing at the Ridyah season event highlighted by Bud versus Martymoff on August 3rd. Now I don't know if this was already in the plans or if this was in the plans after Tim Tszyu and Virgil Ortiz fight got canceled because of the injury to Tim Tszyu has not healed on him from the elbow he took by Sebastian Fundora back in March. So it leads us to believe like they could possibly using this to try to help with the sales of the fight on that, or it could already been in place. We know Eminem did walk Bud out in the fight against Spence. That was fine, but this is a little different having an actual concert and a boxing match. I'm not sure how that's going to mesh. You know, it's not like we want to see a halftime show or see it after the show, after the fight or anything, because the fight card's going to last a long time. The way they do their shows. Their shows usually last like 5 hours, it seems. So if that's going to last 5 hours, then you have an Eminem show. I don't know if the crowd going to mesh together or whatnot, but we'll see. I don't know if it's a shot at a stab in the dark for them trying to add more people to see the fight, but it's interesting. Smart on Eminem of doing what he's doing. He came out with Bud last year. That was dope. It was hype and whatnot. Got more eyes on him. Got more eyes on the boxing match as well. This time around August 3rd, it might be the same. It might not. We'll see.
Yeah. So before I go in my tirade or my diatribe, whatever they call it, we got 115 people in the building, 48 likes. Guys, make sure you smash the like button so other people can find this content. And if you don't like the content, then smash the dislike button. But make sure you are engaging with the content. And also, if you're new to the channel, this is the Angry Man Podcast, M Sports Media. Jason and I are always dropping boxing-related content on a regular basis, unless we're moving or hurt. But yeah, for the most part, we're always dropping content. So make sure that you check out the channel. If you are a member, become a subscriber. If you are a subscriber, become a member. Membership is $2.99 a month. It helps the channel, helps to drive the channel, and of course, super chats are always welcome. Again, it takes dollars to run these channels, man, and so think about contributing to the channel. All right, so we are talking about who are we talking about again? I lost it. Who are we talking about? Eminem. Okay, so wow, man, they're gonna say I'm a hater, Jay, but it's not that I think it's cool to have an entertainer bring you out. I think that's amazing. It makes sense. It adds to the entertainment value associated with boxing. But in reality, we turn on fights to see fights. We don't turn on fights to see concerts. Now, somebody mentioned that there was a concert at the Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk fight. I did not see the concert. I only saw the last 2 fights. And even if they had a concert, I would have skipped it. I wouldn't even looked at it because, you know, there's no reason for me to. I'm not entertained by a concert. When I turn on a fight, I want to see a fight. And I don't want to see somebody dancing and gyrating around and jumping on the stage. Right? That's not what I'm here for. So I think it's a desperate attempt to try to sell this thing. I think Turki has realized that they've been losing money based off of what they've been doing. I feel like he's gotten a grip on what it is that they're doing from a business model perspective and how it's impacting them overall. And now he's trying to make sure that he adds to the entertainment value in order to be able to sell the event. That's just my personal thought. I think they know that they don't have anything that's really going to sell in Terence Crawford versus Israel Madrimov. They did have a really good undercard when they had Tszyu versus Ortiz, but that's now, That was the fight I was the most excited about on that card. You got Big Baby on there. That's not an exciting fight. I mean, you got
two big babies on there.
Yeah, you got what is his name? It's Ryo and Pitbull on there.
And Pitbull.
So
that's a good fight. That's a good fight.
It's a good fight, but man, it's not gonna sell pay-per-view now. It's not gonna sell pay-per-views. So like these guys have been saying for a long time that this is the best pay-per-view card in North American history, and I'm like, okay, then it should do the same 1.5 million we saw from Tyson Fury. Right. They said Terence Crawford is a pay-per-view star. Right. It should do the same 1.5 million. Right. So I want to see what it does. People have been screaming that, Terence Crawford needs to get the opportunity for Canelo Alvarez. I don't see it. I've heard on multiple, or at least on 2 occasions, that Canelo Alvarez has already turned down a fight with Terence Crawford. It doesn't matter how much they paying him. He's not fighting over in Saudi Arabia. And as Gervonta Davis said, if you can sell over in the United States, you ain't got to go over to Saudi Arabia. So everything's going to be done on Canelo's terms. It doesn't matter. They talking about Turki Al-Sheikh changes the mathematics and the dynamics of everything in regards to Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. And Canelo is showing you he doesn't. He absolutely doesn't. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. I think Turki Al-Sheikh is realizing that his business model is flawed and that he's trying to figure out a way to make sure that he can pull in enough dollars to cover the expense associated with this fight. Because I think once again, Terence Crawford is about to take on he's about to claim his third body. He bodied Bob Arum. He bodied Desmond Gums, and now he's about to body Desmond Gums with a what do they call him? What do they call him on the head? A turban. They're about the turban Desmond Gums. That's what they're about to do. So
salute Barbara D.
Salute. Just not interested in the Crawford fight. I feel you there. Yeah, Jay. Barbara D is one of our members. But yeah, man, I think he's understanding that his business model. I'd be curious to see what Turki Al-Sheikh and Saudi Arabia, what they're doing in about this time next year. From 12 to 18 months out, dog. I want to see what they're doing 12 to 18 months out. Because my guess is, shout out to Team Gill. Team Gill is a businessman. He understands that business doesn't work like that. Don't you, Team Gill? But I want to see where they are 12 to 18 months from now. It'll be very interesting. Impress Sports Channel said, who is Boots fighting? I don't know who's Boots fighting. I have no idea. Blake Gibb, 499. Bud is fighting in LA. Kendrick name dropped him. Why not have him do it? I mean, it makes sense. Bud versus Spence 2, 2025 for 154 undisputed. Greg and Jay, I know you ready, fam. I think that's the biggest fight for Terence Crawford. I think if I'm Terence Crawford, I'm hoping that Errol Spence defeats Sebastian Fundora, and he looks good doing it. And that's a big fight. And I get that, people say, well, Terence Crawford is getting his money from Turki Al-Sheikh. Well, he hasn't had a fight with Turki Al-Sheikh yet. This is the first fight on August 3rd with Turki Al-Sheikh. So Turki Al-Sheikh might say, when those numbers come back and Terence Crawford only sell 150,000 pay-per-views and he paid him $50 million, Turki Al-Sheikh might not be in the Terence Crawford business anymore. So we'll see.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, he should want that Spence to have a good fight. Spence, salute Barbara D, $5. It's another cherry pick if you ask me for Crawford. Makes me want to buy a Fire Stick for real. Damn.
Well, a lot of people, that's what most Terence Crawford fans do. They do Fire Sticks. So you wouldn't be alone if you bought a Fire Stick and bought his fight. Impress Sports Channel, appreciate the $1.99 fam. Another PBC fighter pulling out of a fight. Who pulling out of a fight?
Are you talking about Cody Crowley?
Deuce Daly say, Greg, I don't think Turki into getting money from boxing. He may not be, but I think he's into getting money, period. And overall, you can't continue to lose millions of dollars on boxing. That's my point. ASVP TV, what's going on with your fam? ASVP TV is also in the Discord. No, the biggest fight / payday for Errol. Man, you smoking rocks, ASVP TV. And you my fam, bruh. But nah, it's the biggest fight for Bud, too.
Impress Sports Channel, just because he fights on people, that's not PBC fault that Cody Crowder decided to have both his eyes done and he didn't pass the doctor's test. That's not PBC fault at all.
Oh, you're talking about Cody Crowley. Oh, okay. I got you. Man.
That's not his fault at all. So, I mean, Adrian, what's cracking, man? But nah, man, I mean, they should want Spence to do well in that fight because that'd be a bigger fight. I think, it'll make a little bit more sense for a rematch. It'll get people like, okay, Spence did look better at 154. Not saying that Spence will beat Bud at 154. He damn sure ain't gonna be the favorite. He won the favorite last time and got completely dominated by Bud. So I mean, that's not going to change the fact how people feel about the rematch. But at least it'll help build something for this fight because that's what they need, something to build a rematch for those two now. Especially the fact that they not fight rematch immediately afterwards.
You got two things that you can use to sell this fight. Number one, DJ is no longer in his corner. He got a new coach. The new coach is everything. That's how you're going to sell that fight. And then number two, Errol wasn't what Errol usually is. That's partially due to the coaching. That's partially due to other things. That's how you sell that fight. And if you got a good promoter, you can get everybody on board to definitely to basically get people wanting to buy that fight. Jay, I really do believe that. ASVP TV 499. We going after Canelo. The golden goose about to get got. You ain't getting Canelo. Didn't Canelo already tell y'all busters that he ain't fighting Bud? He ain't fighting him. That's a wrap. He ain't fighting Bud. Bud ain't getting that fight. Forget it. It's over. Finito.
He ain't fighting Bud. He ain't fighting David. So
hey, you know what? I want to.
You gonna fight Skull?
Yeah, basically. I want to jump on another topic, man, because it's interesting. I saw somebody. Easy Band officials. I saw Easy Band officials who used to come to this channel but got upset because of a debate in regards to Boots Ennis and Terence Crawford. But I saw him under this video where they were interviewing Carlos Adames. And hold on. So I just saw an ad, just skip that. I don't know why it's doing this. So
they're talking about the sparring or something again?
Yeah, talking about the sparring, right? And so I'm like, so they were talking about it, and Easy Bands was in there talking about, man, that's proof that Bud can move up, and Bud was in there dominating, and man, he was beating Carlos Adames up. Now, bro, this is where I feel that a lot of fight fans just become completely ignorant. It's like they don't even try to understand what is being said in the interview. Carlos Adames literally said that the sparring that occurred with Terence Crawford was after his second pro fight. After his second pro fight. Okay? That means that Carlos Adames, this would have been 2015, Carlos Adames was 21, Terence Crawford was 28. Carlos Adames had two fights. Terence Crawford was unified at 140 pounds, getting ready to move on to become undisputed at 140. They forget all of that. And then, if you do a little bit more research, you know that Terence Crawford was at 140. Adames was at 147 at the time. So there wasn't a big size differential as people are trying to explain. See, this proves that he can fight at 168. No, it doesn't. Adames was fresh in the game. He was at 47. So do your homework, do your research before you come to these conclusions. And then when I come in and I articulate the nuances of what is being discussed, I'm called a hater, Jay. Because I'm like, no, this sparring doesn't mean anything. Crawford was 28. This guy was 21. This guy had 2 professional fights. Crawford had 28 professional fights. Crawford was a unified champion. This guy only had 2 professional fights. No, the weight disparity was not that big. Crawford was at 40. This guy was at 47. Then they say, Greg, you a damn hater. You a hater. No, I just do my research. I like to understand what I'm seeing. But then, hey, man, I'm the bad guy. I just thought I'd put that out there because there were so many people in the comment section of a short that I did and in the comment section of that video talking noise. And I'm like, man, these folks are so damn clueless. But that's why I'm here, to lead the flock. Anyway, Jay, what's next, man?
You stupid. So, Burn the Boxer. He was talking about, they asked him about Sebastian Fundora and Spence. And he said Fundora too much for Spence in this fight here. I find it an interesting matchup with Spence and Fundora. For one, Fundora is there to be hit. He would have lost that fight against Tim Tszyu if Tim Tszyu hadn't had that horrible cut that made it where that blinded him throughout the majority of the fight. So I mean, it's possible Spence can get this win against Fundora because he's there to be hit. So I mean, it's going to be an interesting fight. We don't know how Spence is going to come back from taking a loss like he did. He got dominated. That was a beating that he took in that fight. So mentally, we'll see how it comes back. Just me being me, I would have had to get my get back first with Bud first before I went to anyone else. Eye surgery, whatever. I gotta get my get back first. I can't let that slide like that. But I understand posturing of where he's trying to go as far as like making the things go where it's a higher weight class where it can be at a weight class that he want to fight at. But I'm not sure if Fundora just straight up takes out Spence so easily. Fundora can fight, he can punch, but he's there to be hit, and that's his downfall. I remember watching the Lubin fight, and Lubin was laying some things on him, and so was Tim, and Tim couldn't even see, and he was still laying it on him, So I'm not going to say EJ is completely out of this like Bernie is, but it's going to be a good fight, I think.
Yeah, I think everybody knows my preference is for Errol Spence to take a lighter fight before he moves into a top-notch fighter, but that's not what Errol does, and you got to respect him for that. Fundora has a really high work rate. Fundora enjoys fighting on the inside. That's actually where his strength is. That's also where Spence's strength is. So it's strength on strength. I don't know, man. That's gonna be a tough fight for Errol, bro. Just the work rate, the range, the size. It's gonna be a tough fight for Errol. Now, is it just Errol can't win that fight? I definitely think Errol can win that fight, but it's gonna be a tough fight for him. So I'm curious to see him come back. I'm eagerly anticipating and waiting for him to come back. To be honest with you, I'm eagerly anticipating and waiting for he and Terence Crawford to come back. Like, I'm ready to see both those dudes in the ring again. People think that I'm a Terence Crawford hater, but I'm not. I want to see them both back in the ring.
He don't like his fans.
Huh? Say it again?
You don't like Bud fans.
I don't like some of his fans. I don't like the irrational fans. The ones that say that he can jump a building in a single bound. Those are the ones that I can't stand. But no, it's gonna be a tough fight for Errol. Errol can lose that fight, and I think Errol can win that fight. And that's what made boxing great. And I'm curious to see how it ends up. And Terence can lose the fight against Israel Madrimov. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are thinking this is a foregone conclusion, but honestly, it's not that easy to go undefeated unless you are fighting, fighters that are not Hall of Fame fighters when you're going on your way to undisputed, which mostly what Terence Crawford has been doing. But I digress. But I think that there could be a stumble for Terence Crawford at some point if he doesn't get out of the game soon. So we'll see what ends up happening. It'll be interesting to see all these guys get back into the ring, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see the fights.
But it's also great with this. It's like, wouldn't you be if you're a Terence Crawford fan, wouldn't you want EJ to beat Fundora? Because that strengthens your resume. The better EJ does after the loss to you, it still shows that it makes your resume that much stronger. He beats Fundora, he beats someone else, and he comes back and y'all fight again for undisputed at 154. That makes your resume look even better because that shows that you're that much better than EJ, and EJ is the second best person that you fought on your resume and second best fighter at 147, and you completely dominate him. That's good. But if he just loses and loses, it makes it seem like, oh, he was a hype job. He wasn't that good.
Yeah.
I would want Spence to win if I'm a Bud fan like that.
Real quick, Impress Poet 199. Errol doesn't take tune-ups because of the money. Appreciate your fan. ASVP TV 499. Oh, we know what Bud gonna do. Ain't nothing changed but the date. Yeah. Okay. We'll see. So that goes back to what we were talking about last week when I cooked Terence. Like, I cooked Terence, man. Damn, I cooked Terence for about 30 minutes, man. He was burnt up. Because currently Terence Crawford has no fighters that would be Hall of Famers on his resume. And the only reason I'm saying no fighters is because Terence Crawford said out of his own mouth that Errol Spence wasn't a Hall of Famer. So yes, he should want Errol to go on and do well because that improves his resume and his standing. So yeah, no, I totally agree with you on that, Jay. Completely. All right, man. So where are we, Jay? We are at the 55-minute mark. So I don't think we have any other specific topics that we want to address. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up the phone lines for folks to call in, and then let's see. We'll continue to just chop it up, man, as we normally do. Yeah, I know. Phone lines are open, good people. But yeah, no, man, I totally agree. He needs to do a little bit more to become, to me, Terence Crawford, even if he becomes 3-time undisputed, he wouldn't be in my top 5, dog. Fighters of all time. I'd have Ali over him. I'd have Floyd over him. I'd have Sugar Ray Robinson over him. Sugar Ray Leonard over him. Fo, what's going on with your fam? You in my neck of the woods. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, man, I like y'all show. I just had one question for you.
Yeah.
I know y'all was recently talking about, you were just saying that you don't believe Terence Crawford is a Hall of Famer.
No, I do believe he's a Hall of Famer. I believe he's a Hall of Famer.
Well, you don't, but you don't put him at the top.
Correct. He wouldn't be in my top 5, no.
But my question is, this is the only question I got. If Crawford is beating the guys with the belts, then it's like, how can you discredit his resume if he's beating the guys that have the belts?
I'm not discrediting his resume, but we've seen a lot of people that have titles that weren't great fighters, dog. There's a lot of people that had titles that are not even in the Hall of Fame, not even sniffing Hall of Fame. So just because you beat somebody that had a title, that could be due to circumstances, that could be due to timing. So we have to parse out and look at your actual resume, who you beat, in order to dictate or determine whether or not you are like a top 5 fighter of all time. That's my only point. I'm not discrediting him. You beat who you beat, but just because you can't help who you beat doesn't mean that automatically forces us to just look at your accolades. No, it doesn't. Specifically in boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my.
Do you consider Danny Garcia a Hall of Famer?
No.
No.
Okay. So if you look at the welterweight division, who could Crawford have fought that's considered a Hall of Famer besides Spence? Who in the welterweight division that he could have fought that you would consider a Hall of Famer?
Nobody. But let me ask you this. Why did Terence Crawford discredit Errol Spence during the lead up to their fight, saying that he's not a Hall of Famer? That's his fault.
Yeah.
He gave me ammo.
You're right about that one.
So
can't argue with you on that one.
Yeah, is it fair? No, it's not fair, because you can only beat who is in front of you. But I still can't grade you on the curve just because you just had to beat who was in front of you. No, I'm not going to grade you on the curve. I still have to grade you accordingly, because that would be a disservice to and not fair to the people who had to go through a gauntlet to win the titles that they won. Sugar Ray had to go through Tommy Hearns. He had to go through Marvin Hagler. He had to go through Roberto Duran. He had to go through Hector Macho Camacho.
That's true, but when it comes to the sport of boxing, a lot of sports in general, you got to look at that era, and based off that era, if he beat the guys in front of him, he winning all the belts. Then it's kind of like, how could you discredit that?
Yeah, the difference is boxing. Boxing is a one-on-one sport, right? And there's ways to measure and gauge a fighter. If a fighter was like Hall of Fame, and when you start talking about like the top tier, like NBA players, you start to get into the nuances. Man, all of a sudden, when you start talking about LeBron James and Michael Jordan, you're starting to talk about meltdowns in fourth quarters. Like, you're not just talking about like the competition or what they did. You're not talking about meltdowns in fourth quarters, what teams you were on. You get into the nuances, dog. Similarly to what I'm saying, I'm now in the nuances of, yeah, you 3-time undisputed, but who did you beat to get there? Just like with LeBron, it's like LeBron got all these points. LeBron got these titles. But man, you played with like 30 All-Stars.
True, but I'm saying if you look at it, he was in the 135. What was it? 135, 140. Or it was 135, 140, 147.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question.
He moved.
Let me ask you a question real quick. Name two fighters he beat to become the undisputed champion at 140.
Shoot, I don't know.
Exactly.
Hey.
Exactly. Point proven.
Yeah, but I'm not really trying to discredit. I'm just saying, like, if he's beating the guys that have the belts, then it's like
that's all we can ask him.
You said if you have different, if he moving up weight classes and he winning the belts, but then you go to who did he beat? I'm like, it's his era.
Yeah,
I'm just looking at the era. Like, if he fought in a different era where it was a whole bunch of fighters that was really, really good, and he kept ducking and dodging them, then I can understand your point on that.
Yeah, but I'm saying if he fought during Sugar Ray Leonard time, he wouldn't be 2-time undisputed. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying Leonard fought better competition than what he fought. That's all I'm saying. That's it. Like, yeah. I'm not discrediting him. I give him all the accolades for becoming 2-time undisputed and 3-time undisputed if he is able to do that at 154. All credit be to Terence Crawford for doing that. But once you start talking about greatest of all time, then I've got to start peeling back layers and start to parse and look at the details of what you did. Because now you're talking about, greatest of all time. Now you're comparing yourself to Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson, Joe Louis. You feel me? Like that's different. So now we're gonna get into the details.
I agree.
Yeah, that's
all I want to ask y'all, man. I appreciate the time, man. Enjoy the show, man.
I appreciate you for calling in, man. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
All right, no problem.
All right, later. Yeah, man, that was a good caller, man. Let me see what my boy Jason Williams saying. Shout out to Jason Williams.
He saying the same old shit he always say.
Nah, Greg, you mean you gotta put on that Bud hater hat you love so much? No, man, I ain't hating on Bud, bruh. What you talking about, man? 318, what's going on with you, fam?
It's your boy ASAP.
What's going on, ASAP? What's going on, fam?
Man.
Oh, nothing much. About to go get me some meat, but I just wanted to, come in and talk about my guy. But
yeah.
But we got to look at the landscape. I think it was one of your last videos where you was talking about the end of the era. For the PBC guys, but we got to really think about this, man. Bud, regardless of what the pound for pound say, Bud the best in the world.
I agree.
And he from America. He from America. So
I totally agree.
We gotta support him because it ain't too many coming up that's like him. This might be the last time that we can say we on top. Because you see, we ain't really got no dependable heavyweights. Sad to say, but Rich Torres might be the closest thing we got. You know what I'm saying? But I just think we ought to put a little bit more respect on Bud's name, man. And,
I do respect
Crawford. Behind him and support him.
I do. I buy all his fights. I support Terence Crawford.
I'm saying as a whole.
Yeah, okay. I thought you were talking about us specifically because we buy all of his fights. We do videos on them. All of that to me, and I'm of the mindset of all press is good press. When people talk shit about me in the comment section, I think that's great. When people talk great about me in the comment section, I think that's great. So, and that's part of the reason why you'll never get blocked on this channel. Because unless you start calling us names or using homophobic slurs and all that other stuff, but I like to see.
That's another thing too. People got to stop being so sensitive, man. The day we stop being able to actually conversate about these things, then it ain't really gonna be no sport. Because if we can't talk about it, then what's the point?
I find it interesting I saw somebody on Twitter. This guy name was, I ain't gonna even say his name because I ain't gonna even give him no love. But shout out to my guy Team Gill. He copied me. He tagged me in a post that this gentleman did, and the gentleman came back and said, "Don't bring that clown to my page." Clown referring to me, and I went on there and I just said, you know, bruh, any man that cannot articulate his point and resorts to name calling instead isn't a man. We can disagree with all that extra, bro. You've been in our Discord ASAP. You know we disagree all the time. We go at it, and it's all love, bro. So I don't understand why people get so. It's like, man, it's like sometimes I think some of these cats are living vicariously through these fighters and these sports figures, so much so that it becomes personal for them. And I don't live through no man, so none of this is personal for me.
Right. But I actually gained a lot of respect for y'all because I've been watching for, I don't know exactly how long I've been watching, but I've been following for a while, and I seen how y'all came on after the fight. You know what fight, but y'all came on. Y'all ain't take y'all channel down. You know, you stood your ground. You actually did 2 lives after the fight. So hats off to y'all for that. You know, because a lot of people they ain't take it too well. At the end of the day, we got the fight we all wanted, and we found out who was really the guy. You know, so I think if anything, we should have just be appreciative of the fighters getting in there and making it happen. You know, that's why I kind of like I got Errol Spence beat Fundora, you know, but because Fundora to me, even though he implemented a new game plan with the jab, working that jab, using his reach, I felt like he wasn't really doing too much because as you saw in the first 2 rounds, Tim Tszyu was just landing the overhand right with ease, it wasn't even difficult to land, you know. Fundora was not protecting himself at all. You know, it's just bad luck for Tim that he just happened to run into an elbow and get a bad cut. You know, but sometimes that's just how the game goes, man. Sometimes the card's not in your favor that day. But I think I give him a chance to beat Fundora. You know, if he the underdog, if they got him the underdog, I'm for sure gonna put some money on it. You know, but I do think. I just need to put the nail in there. I just need Bud to put the nail in the coffin if they run it back, you know. But this another thing too. He doing exactly what I said Boot should be doing. Move up to 154. Get in his way. Get in Bud's way. Bud made it public knowledge what his goal is. Get in his way. Get a belt. That's what Errol doing. So I can't knock him. I can't knock him for that, you know. And I think Boot's gonna have a pretty darn good career. You know, I don't know what he's gonna accomplish because he got 31 fights, 28 KOs. But you know, who can I name besides Sergey Lipinets? You know, I watched that fight. That was a pretty good fight. You know, he had a business in that fight. You know, but I like to see him when it came out that the fight was canceled because of Crowley failing his eye test. I was kind of wondering would he get on that August 3rd card and fight Virgil, you know, because I feel like that'll be a great fight. And he probably blows up. He probably fights around 154 on the night of the fight anyway. And we know Virgil, he been coming in at 155. I don't think he ain't weighed in at 154 yet. But I think that would have been a good fight. You know, I wish that would have been proposed, but I'm pretty sure they really invested in this in the card that they didn't already put in Philly. But you know, Mean Machine got on Instagram that I saw. He got on Instagram and said he want that fight. He said the PBC couldn't get it, so maybe Metron would get it. You know, and Mean Machine, he gonna give him a fight. We know he gonna give him a fight. Don't. I know some of y'all want him to get in there with David Avenese, and don't do that. Don't do that. They gonna clown him. Same way they clown Bud for that. They gonna clown him about that. You got to get some names, man. I know Mean Machine ain't a big name, but that's a common opponent with Bud who actually gave Bud some problems in there in the beginning. You know, even though Bud got him up out of there. But, you know, that's a better fight than I see than anything else could be on the table right now. If he just defending his belt, if he just trying to get that mandatory defense out the way, you know, I say don't get it done with Mean Machine. But man, we want that Canelo fight. That's what we want. We want that Canelo fight. And anybody want to put some money on that Canelo fight, we can do that too. I got Bud Crawford. I got a band on Bud. Anybody want to jump in line, want to put their money down too, we can get that going on. Because ain't nobody going to tell me. I know it's one thing, you think these guys, I think you think Bud moving up too high weight play. I can respect it, I can respect that point of view. But like I said before in my last call the last week, exceptional task for exceptional fighters, man. And I think Bud one of them exceptional fighters. I think at the end of the day, we seen Canelo get outboxed. And I think Bud can outbox him with skill. I'm not gonna say Bud can KO him, but best believe if it's there, Bud gonna get him up out of there. And I'm 100% sure of that. That ain't no question. If the KO is there, he's gonna get him up out of there. But yeah, man. That's all
I got a question for you, though.
Go ahead.
I got a question for you. How many times have you seen Canelo hurt?
Just that one time against
Cotto
brother.
Cotto brother. Yeah, just that one time. But I give him props. He got a 10. But I ain't saying Bud gonna hurt him. But we know when he got you hurt, he gonna get you up out of there. That ain't no question. That ain't even up for debate. We know what it is. But can he hurt him though? I know he can outbox him. I know he got the skills to beat Canelo. But I don't know if he can hurt him. I ain't gonna go that far. I ain't gonna go as far as saying he can jump buildings in a single bound. But what I see, what I gravitate towards is a taste of the old school, man. A taste of the old school mentality. When I see Bud, I see that old school dog mentality, man. It ain't too many people in this game today that got that old school dog mentality. And I just see that, man. I see a hard worker. I see somebody that he want to be great. He don't want to just be called great. He want to be great. And I feel like that's why he's going for the Canelo fight. And it's for legacy. It's money and legacy, Greg. I know you like to say it's just money, but it's money and it's legacy, man. Because we can't deny it. If he beat Canelo, that'll take him to a whole nother level. That'll take him to a whole nother level. Now, I'm a lead the historians, though. I'm going to let the historians debate what he ranked, because I ain't no encyclopedia for boxing or nothing like that, because some of these guys know their stuff. I'll leave that to them to decide, because one of the guys that I follow on YouTube, I respect him a lot. He seemed to know a lot about boxing. He was talking in his last stream, he think Usyk, after that win, he got a solid case to be the GOAT, so... I think, and that coming from a guy I respect his opinion a lot. I ain't saying he a historian of boxing, but he pretty damn close because he know a lot of stuff about boxing. So yeah. I'll leave it up to even now without the Canelo fight, I'll leave that up to everybody else to decide where he ranks. But if he came up in the 4 Kings, I feel like he'll fit right in. But
he'll fit right. He'll fit in with the L.
I think the only one that give him problems is Hearns. I feel like he a carbon copy of Hagler though.
I
feel like he's smarter. He just got a higher IQ in my opinion.
Man, Hearns give him major problems because of that range and power. He get hit by Hearns like
Hearns
Mean Machine.
Got that reach.
If he get hit by Hearns like Mean Machine hit him, that shit's over. And I would say Sugar Ray gives him problems, and so does Marvin. I mean, all them fighters give him problems.
Oh, yeah. I feel like they give him problems. I feel like he'll figure Duran out for sure. I feel like that'll be the easiest one of the bunch, in my opinion. I think Sugar Ray Leonard, that'll be a razor sharp one. And I think I might give Hearns the nod over, but I don't know. He got the skills, and he got it's like T-Mac and Kobe. Kobe got the work ethic. He got all the skills. He got the work ethic. T-Mac had all of that plus the reach and the height, but he didn't have the work ethic. If T-Mac had the work ethic, he would have been better than Kobe. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But some people just got that's them God-given aspects of they deal. Just like with Fury, they're reaching that height, man. They're gonna give anybody problems they get in the ring with him, But yeah, man, that's really my call. That's all I wanted to say. Put some respect on Bud's name. Usyk pound for pound number one, no question. Even though he's from the Ukraine and I'm from Louisiana, I'm happy that he's my undisputed champion of the world. Couldn't be more proud of him, you know. And I hope he don't go back to cruiserweight. I hope he stay at heavyweight. But yeah, that's all I wanted though. Appreciate y'all.
I appreciate you, fam. Thank you for calling in. So Usyk is not my number one pound for pound fighter, and
it's still Bud.
It's Crawford. Like it's not anyone but Crawford. So I disagree with that wholeheartedly. What's the little guy's name? I'm losing his name.
Inoue.
Man. Yeah, Inoue. Yeah, it's not him either. It's Crawford. Period. End of story. But anyway, they got it.
But they won't hear that, Greg. They won't hear that. They won't hear us saying that Bud is the number one pound for pound in the world right now.
Man, I've had people accusing us of saying that we said that Crawford didn't have a chance against Spence. I had to do a collage video of us actually talking about the fight to prove that was untrue. I'm like, you mofos make up stuff. You hear what you want to hear. But anyway, before we move on, let me say this. 129 people in the building, 70 likes. Guys, if you haven't smashed the like button, make sure you smash the like button so other people can find the content. Or the dislike button if you don't like the content, but make sure you engage. And if you're new to the channel, this is Angry Man Podcast, AM Sports Media. We're always dropping boxing-related content, so make sure you become a subscriber. And in the building now is my lender for life. What's going on with your family?
Let him cook. Let him cook. Happy Sunday, my friends.
Happy Sunday.
It's good to see you guys back. Jason, hopefully you all moved in and ready to go. You missed an outstanding show last Sunday. It was facts over feelings. I think I counted Greg say the N-word 22 times, and he finally admitted by saying F. Crawford how he really feels. But welcome back, my friends. Welcome back. Now, Greg, you know, I heard you last week spend damn near 2 hours debating on the phone. You know, I think you forgot you're on a public platform and you had listeners. But now I realize that you're very comfortable going extended time against B-level competition.
No.
Which reminds me, I don't doubt that you're a smart guy. I've told you that. You're very smart. Book smart. But you are what we call a professional storyteller. Because you know how to tell a story. The problem with telling stories on a public platform is that we have receipts. So, I want to ask you, let's get to this Garcia Haney pay-per-view numbers.
Okay.
Now, I'm not sure if you knew this, but De La Hoya came out and basically said both fighters have gotten their guaranteed pay.
Yep, I talked about
Are we in agreement with that?
We are.
Okay. Now, we're just waiting on pay-per-views to trickle in. I believe they've got 49 days or 59 days. I'm sure as a PBC fanatical, you understand how that works. Now, it may not take 3, 6, 9, 12, 24 months like Uncle Al does, but are we okay with pay-per-view revenue trickling in? Are we okay with that?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it takes 7 weeks to get that number, Jerry. It's been 7 weeks.
Okay, I'm asking you a question. Okay. Are we okay with pay-per-view revenue trickling in? I heard you say this already. Yes. Are you changing your mind?
No, I'm saying that the pay-per-view back end comes in later, but it doesn't take 10, 11 weeks. 6 weeks you should have an idea of what that number is.
Did you know that Wilder, Broner, we can go down the list, all these PBC fighters said that they would never get their money on time. It would trickle in 3, 6, 9, 12 months, 24 months. Now we're complaining about 6 weeks?
No, they're saying, let's pause because you're comparing two different things. They said that they haven't gotten shit at all other than their guarantee. It does not. Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia, they were talking about pay-per-view numbers after 2 weeks, which means there is a basis to start to pay after a few weeks, dog. It doesn't take 6-7 weeks. That tells me
I'm
that it
asking you
wasn't
a question. You're venturing off one topic to another. How long does it take for you to get pay-per-view revenue?
You can get it a few weeks after the actual fight, but not. It doesn't.
You're not real sure, Greg.
Weeks.
You're not real sure yourself, and that's okay. Which leads me into
nobody
the
is
math.
sure of that number. You can't. No, hold up. Nobody can actually say specifically when pay-per-view numbers are going to get paid out because it's random depending on the promoter and the entity that you're dealing with. That's why I'm unsure.
There is a specific time frame allowed contractually to get paid. Do you know that number?
So every contract is different. No, I don't know the specific contract, but you just said that pay-per-view dollars trickle in. What I'm arguing is that after 6 to 7 weeks, some of those dollars should have trickled in, and none of them have. And that's the point.
So you're saying, basically, what you're saying is that you think they did zero pay-per-view revenue.
No, I'm saying that you're guaranteed. No.
Golden Boys doing their business.
No. That's not what I'm saying.
I'm here to argue that
confusing.
You can't. Well, you can have it both ways. But I'm going to call you out on it.
No.
Next topic.
No. Hold on. You're not going to your next topic yet because I ain't say anything about zero pay-per-views. The way that contracts are structured, you get a guarantee, and once you reach a certain threshold, you start to get back in. They ain't reached the threshold, my brother. That's the reason why they ain't got shit yet.
The contract said.
So what? I don't have to know that.
It's not the same. Who said anything about a threshold?
I don't have to. Dog, that's how all of them work. What are you talking about? All the contracts work that way.
Sir.
You're talking about that. Oh, yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
And as the pay-per-view numbers come in, okay, I don't know if they have to collect it all together. You get over a threshold. 10 different checks, or you get in one lump sum once everything is received.
False.
Greg, you don't know how they're doing their money. You don't know how that contract is structured, and you don't know how Golden Boy is paying them out.
False. So Jerry, Paul. Tell me this. Why are those two gentlemen on social media when they have management asking where their money is, Jerry? Explain that.
Because Golden Boy, did you see Oscar De La Hoya's tweet? He said, you guys need to read your contract.
Okay.
You already
so what does that
paid
mean?
the guarantee. Once all the revenue is received, then it's dispersed.
Exactly. And which means that it doesn't take 6 to 7 weeks to start getting disbursement. That's my point.
You don't know that.
How do you know it? How do you know it? How do you know it?
If that's
How do you know it?
I heard if that is the case.
How do you know it? How do you know it? How do you know it?
That is the case.
Okay.
If that is the case, when Adrian Broner and Wilder were claiming the same thing about the PBC, you're on here defending Uncle Al. And because they trickle in, and then you got to do the math. And
Jesus Christ.
Am I wrong, or do I need to send you receipts?
No, pause. You said trickle in, not one payment 7-8 weeks later. Trickle in. Do you understand the definition of trickle in? That means once you get over that threshold, meaning there's a certain amount of pay-per-views that you have to sell before you start getting back in, then that money starts to trickle in. They didn't reach the number, bruh. What is it about that you don't understand?
Greg, so are you telling me that as the pay-per-view numbers trickle in, they should be cutting checks every 2 days?
Who said about every 2 days?
What you're saying?
No, I'm saying in 6 weeks.
All of the pay-per-views, once all of the revenue is paid, the math is done, then you get one check.
You going back and forth. Hold up, you going back and forth. 1 minute you saying it's one check, the next minute you saying it trickles in. Which one is it?
The pay-per-view revenue trickles in, Greg.
Okay. So it doesn't take.
Number one, Verizon is a worldwide app.
Oh my
Different
God!
countries. The money is trickling in. That doesn't mean it gets dispersed as it's trickling in.
So
Listen,
you think?
Let me move on.
No. That's just wrong. It's just wrong. You don't get to hold on to you don't get to hold on to the money, Jerry, just because it's trickling in. You disperse.
Greg.
You disperse.
You're telling a story, Greg. You're telling the viewers a story.
Okay, we gonna get Rachel Donero here.
It's trickling in. Here's the check.
We gonna get. Hey. Hold on. Nobody said that, Jerry. But in 6 motherfucking weeks, you should have gotten 1 fucking disbursement.
Okay. Well, Greg, listen. The fact that you're starting to curse leads me to believe that
it's clear. No, you get it cooked. It's so clear. Pause before I let you go. It's so clear that I felt like I needed to emphasize it with motherfucking. Now go ahead to your next topic.
Okay, so which leads me into your next equation, which tells me that, because of the gate, the pay-per-view buys. Is that true?
Say that again? Yeah, gates are aligned with pay-per-view buys, correct.
Okay.
You said you had to.
All right, amigo. I'm going to put you on the skillet today, right now. You can tell all your viewers, you just did a video 2 weeks ago, last week. What is the gate right today for Tank versus Martin?
Tank versus, I don't know what their gate is right now. The fight hasn't even happened.
You just did a video last week, Greg.
What are you talking about? I didn't do a video on their gate. I don't know what their gate is. There's no way to know what their gate is right now.
You didn't say that there's already been 14 million?
No, I haven't said you. Wrong person. I never did a video on that. Wrong. Jason, have we did a video talking about Tank and Martin Gate?
Look at your chat, Greg. I'm going to excuse you. Perhaps you're on a little medication.
I've never did a video on that. Never. Jason, have we done a video on that? Talking about their gate? I don't know what their gate is. I've never done that. False. You're wrong.
No, we didn't do a video.
Look at your chat, Greg.
I know some Twitters out there saying how much it's sold so far.
But I've never said that. We've never talked about their gate. I don't know what his gate is. That's false.
My friend.
Send it. It's wrong. Put it in the chat. It's wrong.
That gate is 14 million?
I don't know what the gate is. I don't know what it is. So I can't tell you that I agree with that.
Jason,
I don't know.
Chime on in. What is the current gate so far with 1,200 seats available? What is the tally so far for Tank versus Martin?
I don't know. Jason looking it up right now. Hold on. Jason looking it up.
Okay.
I know you can't see the screen. He looking it up.
So Jason is about to give you the data.
Okay.
If you look in the chat, they're already giving you the answer.
Okay.
It's already 14 million pre-sold.
Okay.
Because, Tank is the face of boxing.
Okay.
So my question to you, if your math is correct, because, you're the finance guy.
Yeah.
How many pay-per-view buys should Tank and Martin do next week?
Above 500, for sure.
500?
Above 500, for sure.
No. We're going by your math.
What
you
math?
Said the gate is hand in hand with pay-per-view buys.
I said that they're directionally
Haney
correct.
And Garcia
yes.
did 10, 12 million. And you said 300?
This
Under
guy's
500
funny.
is what my source is telling me. Tell everybody now what pay-per-view buys are going to be next week.
This guy is funny. I have never given you a formula. All I said is that they typically go hand in hand. That's all I've said.
On, Greg.
That's all I've said. Nice try, though.
This is what it looks like when you're face-to-face with A-level competition.
No.
45 minutes with
man,
me.
you done got, bruh, you've gotten cooked already. Stop.
My friend.
No, hold on. I'm going to address that before you go there. You are B-level competition as it relates to me. You just tried to use an argument that I didn't even say, and I've never made a proclamation where there's an exact formula of pay-per-view sales and gate. Stop it. I just said that there's a correlation. Stop it.
Chat, you are watching Greg
Correlation.
Oracle
Correlation.
flame out right in front of your eyes.
Nope, you're making up false arguments.
This man.
Fake arguments.
Have a lifeline.
Fake arguments.
Somebody call in and take over.
Fake arguments.
Barbecue chicken.
Fake arguments. You're making fake arguments, dog.
Now you said that Crawford and Majimov was made before he had a chance to negotiate with Fundora. And because of that, Fundora shouldn't wait on Crawford. He needs to go right into the Spence fight. Correct me, stop me where I'm wrong.
Okay.
Did you say that?
Did I say what? That Fundora shouldn't be forced to wait for Terence Crawford? You stop fucking changing my arguments, dog. If you're going to try to cook, then try to cook. Stop changing words in my arguments to make it fit your narrative, because that ain't cooking. Okay? I said Fundora should not be forced to wait for Terence Crawford because Terence Crawford chose to actually move on with another fight. So Fundora should be allowed to take on another opponent. That was my statement. Keep it straight, dog, if you're going to argue.
Listen, I just said what you just said. You just don't
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
I heard
no, the hell you didn't.
The whole argument.
No, you didn't. You just said something different. No, you didn't.
You had your guy.
No, you
from
didn't.
Another boxing channel call in.
No, you didn't.
Give all your viewers false information.
No, false.
Because you said that Crawford.
What information did they give that was false?
Fundora in negotiations for a fight.
What the fuck? It's on the It's on the WBO website.
Fundora shouldn't wait on him.
It's on the WBO website.
Saying that correctly.
It's on the WBO website where he provided proof. So already you done screwed yourself. You're absolutely wrong.
Okay. Well, here is where you and I start to distance ourselves if we haven't already. I have proof. I told you that me and Lukowitz went head to head on the Boxing Voice.
Pause. That's false. Also false.
Callers last week told you Lukowitz was on the Boxing Voice.
Oh, yeah, he was on the Boxing Voice.
Was,
y'all didn't go head to head. Y'all didn't go head to head.
Your guy.
You called in and talked for 3 minutes. No. Pause. You called in for 3 minutes, and then Lukowitz called in later and just referenced you for 10 seconds. Y'all didn't go back and forth. Now continue.
Lukowitz started out his phone call
by referencing you.
Hey, that guy Soriano, I need to hire him, for a circus. Pull back, Greg.
He didn't call back for you.
Another video.
He didn't call back for you. False. He didn't call back for you. He didn't call back for you, Jerry. I looked at the whole thing. He didn't call back for you.
Send you proof. I've got receipts, Greg. That's where your storytelling gets all tripped up.
Nope. Anybody can go look at that. That's false. It's just not correct. He referenced you for 10 seconds and moved on to the points that he was making. He didn't go back and forth with you. Y'all didn't even talk to each other. Going back and forth is talking.
You're right. So listen. So your guy that you called and you were hailing him as, oh yeah, he's got a boxing channel. He's got receipts on Crawford. You love getting people on here to mislead your audience. He knew nothing of what he was talking about. He was just feeding you what you wanted to hear.
We should.
Ego and make you feel better.
We should. We let you come on here and mislead.
Here are the facts. Number one, Spence was never going to rematch Crawford.
Okay.
2 reasons, Greg. Number one, he waited till January to get surgery, and Showtime was going out of business. Right? And the biggest reason why Crawford and Spence rematch was never going to happen is because Spence doesn't have a trainer, Greg. Do we understand that? Do we understand that
Jason.
Your boy Spence does not have a trainer?
Okay.
It was never going to happen. Okay. But let me move on, Greg.
So hold on. So let me hold on, Jerry. Let me make this clear. So you telling me that just because Errol Spence doesn't have a trainer, that he couldn't have found a trainer in a manner of like 2 weeks, a week or 2, 3 weeks in order to get into a fight? So you telling me it takes months to get a trainer? Having a trainer or not having a trainer has nothing to do with nothing. That is a ridiculous argument. Now go ahead.
Greg, I got to move on, buddy, because you are starting to get dizzy. Your boy Spence doesn't even have a trainer today. What's
everybody?
Today? June 9th, 2024. Oh,
so
yeah,
what?
really?
Does he need? When is this next fight? Hold on, no. When is this next fight, Jerry? Is this next fight tomorrow, Jerry? Is this next fight in a month, 2 months, 5 months?
Greg,
no, okay. He don't need a trainer right now. He don't need a trainer right now.
Move on, Greg, because what part you didn't realize is why did Spence jump in the ring to fight Fundora if he wasn't fighting Crawford because he broke his nose or whatever the hell the injury seems to be? Why was Spence in there, Greg?
I'm sorry. Repeat the question. I was looking at the chat. They're talking about how I'm cooking the hell out of your ass. So I wasn't really listening to you.
Let me move on. Listen. The reason why the WBO is putting pressure on Fundora, the reason why the WBC is now putting pressure on Fundora, because the PBC already telegraphed their move by having Spence jump in the ring with Fundora. And on that call with Lukowitz, he admitted that Crawford was going to have to wait. He also admitted that Turki Al-Sheikh had called them to negotiate a fight in October and November, and Lukowitz said no. Then after that is when Madrimal fight was made. But see, facts over feelings, that's just a slogan and another story. Because, who the hell cares about what really matters? Right? Let's talk about how right you've been, Greg, because since I've been listening to your show, you spent 3 years talking about how Spence was going to beat Crawford. How right were you about that? You were so right that the day of the weigh-in, you made a video stating that Crawford looked drained. After the fight, Crawford was not drained. It was Spence that was drained, correct? Okay, maybe it was Spence. Then after July 29, 2023, your next biggest claim is that Crawford would never fight with Saudi Arabia, that Al-Sheikh would never take him under your wing. How right were you about that?
When did I say that?
I will send you receipts, Greg.
Please do.
Because we keep moving the needle. Now it's, Crawford's not a draw. And remember, Crawford is only a draw if his name is attached to
I said that.
Spence.
I said all that.
Sorry, I said all that. You make 101 videos with Crawford's name all over it.
I said all that. I didn't. But I don't recall the Turki Al-Sheikh stuff. But go ahead. Go ahead and finish up.
So we're gonna finish up because we can't really go 45 minutes because you'll start calling me the N-word or.
No, Jerry, I'm not gonna call you.
My question to you is this, so I can leave this for the audience. Jason, you have called Canelo a drug cheat continuously. Greg, you have called Canelo a drug cheat continuously.
No.
Are we correct on that?
No, I don't talk about. I rarely ever talk about that. So I think Jason that maybe has mentioned it a few times, but I've never even talked about it.
You've never said Canelo was a drug cheat.
Just like I never said that Tank Davis had $14 million gate. You can stop confusing me with everybody.
Okay. All right. Canelo is a drug cheat, correct?
He got popped for being on drugs, yeah.
What he got popped for? He got popped for clean, right?
What was it?
It's not approved by the FDA in the United States that your guy, more plates, more dates. I can send you a video that he said that Flynn is not effective. Just like he made the video about Ostarine.
Okay, that's great.
What makes it worse is that Canelo had traces Does that sound familiar?
This guy
So
is
instead of getting
incredible.
12 months, he got 6 months, which ended up being 4 months because he had receipts from the restaurant where he bought the meat.
I have never.
If it doesn't fit your narrative, because Ryan Garcia only had traces.
Woo!
But yet, you know, he's not a drug cheat. He just plays one on Twitter.
Oh man!
Because, you know, it's a conspiracy. It's the concert. It's the Haney. But we don't take supplements, but supplements that have been opened. And it was innocent, but instead of giving us 12, we're good with 4 to 6 months.
Okay, Jerry. All right.
What's the point?
You're the greatest storyteller on YouTube, my friends. And I will hang up and listen till you rebuttal me because, you know, face to face, you can't quite handle that heat. This is Jerry Soriano, your lender for life. Let him cook!
So that was Jerry Soriano, who just got destroyed by me once again. This is what a lot of people do. I'm gonna speak real quick, Jay. This is what a lot of people do. And let me pause the line very quickly. Sorry, guys. I just want to address this very quickly. This is what a lot of people do. They create arguments, assign the argument. Sorry, 609. Give me 1 second, 609. I know who you are, Terrence. Terrence, give me 1 second to talk, Terrence. One second. I'm gonna mute you.
All right.
Oh my God.
So
Jerry Soriano just got destroyed by me once again.
Hey, your volume is up. Turn your volume down.
I'm going to speak real quick, Jay. This is what a lot of people do. And let me pause the line very quickly. Sorry, guys. I just want to.
Sorry. Call back real quick, Terrence. But what people do is they take arguments and they assign the argument to us, and then they argue that point to try to win. Right? I have never been on here talking about Canelo Alvarez and whether or not Canelo had an advantage in a fight. This is where the IQ and the intelligence comes in, and understanding the nuances of an argument. He is trying to compare us using the gentleman that basically said that there was no advantage that Ryan Garcia had in that fight, and me using that information comparatively to what Ryan Garcia did to Devin Haney. He's now trying to use that argument for Canelo, but I've never made the argument that Canelo actually had an advantage due to clenbuterol and having that in his system versus whoever he fought. We've never made that argument. So he's just created an argument, assigned the argument to us, and then argue, and then use that to try to discredit what we said. Ridiculous, because we never made that argument. Jerry, nice try. You cannot F with me, Jerry. You cannot mess with me, because seldom in my arguments do I leave holes for people to attack me. You just got cooked again, my friend. You just got cooked again. Don't assign an argument to me that I've never made. You literally just tried to assign 14 million, saying that I said that Tank Davis made 14 million on his gate, to use that in an argument against me when we've never made a video discussing that. I didn't even know what his gate was. Stop it, dog. Be factual. And you never went back and forth with Samson. You didn't. You called in. They let you talk for 3 minutes. Samson called in, picked at you because of how loud you were and your tone as you were talking. And then he went on to talk about what it was that he was going to talk about to begin with. He was always calling back into the show. He was always coming back to the show. He didn't come back to address you. Stop it. Anyway, the phone line back over, and Terrence, call in. That boy can't mess with me, man. Mr. Blue said he got destroyed. All things saying he got cooked. Everybody in the comment section saying you got cooked. Nah, here go Terrence's best damn video. Some real competition. What's up, Terrence?
What's up? Yo, what's up, Jason and Greg? Yo. This dude called me out, so you know I gotta respond, because he kind of made a reference to me saying I'm D-level competition. Okay, so first of all, bro, your name Let Him Cook. Let me just tell you this, bro. Your name Let Him Cook. You say your name is Let Him Cook, but every time you say you're gonna cook up a gourmet meal but end up burning toast. Because you are a bum, bro. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm B level. I'm C level, B level, whatever. You C or D level. Because you don't even stay on point. You make a point that really we don't even know what point you're making. And then say, I want to move on to the next topic. You ain't even made a point. How you going to move on to the next topic when we don't even know what you're talking about, the topic you're talking about? And you say, I'm B level? Really? And you A level? Bro, you, just like you said, you got on a show for 3 minutes and somebody responded to you for what? What were they saying? Responded to you for what? I mean, really, bro, you need to stop it, bro. Last week when we were talking, and we were talking about the PBC numbers, I'm talking about the Haney numbers. We knew we didn't know what the numbers were, bro. That's all I was saying. That Greg comes on every week talking about these numbers before we had all of the numbers, but they quickly shit on the Haney numbers. That's the only point I was making, bro. I don't have the numbers. You don't have the numbers. Greg don't have the numbers.
I have the numbers.
You were making a point. You were making that point based on the payouts, right?
Yeah,
but you
the point I made.
You didn't say anything to this fool when he got on there. He said he's going to cook you, but he didn't even address the payout numbers. You know what I'm saying? So he says, I got cooked because I don't know what the payout numbers are. The only point I was making is that you guys, and when the PBC put out numbers, no one questions them. And when Haney and them put out numbers, and that's all I was saying, they were questioned. Now, you were making an argument that they were questioned because you had some sort of overall person. I guess, am I correct? That was your argument?
Yeah. I was backing into the numbers using mathematics and saying it didn't make sense. That was it.
Yes, and tell this dude, just because you loud, bro, don't mean you right. He gets on here every time, loud as hell, and don't make no damn good points. And some people think that because you're loud that you're making points. No, bro, you're not making no points. And I tell you this, Jerry, Mr. Cook, Mr. Gourmet Burning Toast, I will debate you on any topic, anytime. So if you think that I am B-level competition, you step up any topic, bro. We can go at it.
Yeah, let's go, Terrence. Let's go, Terrence. Let's go. Let's go, Terrence. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, Terrence. That's what I'm talking about.
Come on here calling me out. Now, let's go. Still on, because you got cooked today. You got cooked badly. So I don't even know if you should even be allowed on the show anymore.
Frying him up.
This dude got fried today. Talking about let it cook. But anyway. That's all. But really, he called me out. I ain't even have nothing to say. Y'all didn't disrespect Bud today, so I ain't really had nothing to say. I just had to get on there and address this dude. And I hope he called back because I want him to cook on me. Let's go. One-on-one. Me and you. Any topic, bro. That's all I had to say. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm sorry. No, but when you call me out, you know I got to respond. Don't ever call me out. Mr. Gourmet Burning Toast, dude. Gourmet Meals. This dude says he's cooking.
Man,
I'm sorry.
I fried him up good today. Oh, I fried him up.
You fried him. I don't know. He said you didn't take his meds. I don't know if he took his meds today or something because he was way off topic. Listen. Nobody even knows what he was talking about and had a nerve to say he A-level competition or something. Really? Stop it, bro.
Let me tell you something. I tell people this all the time, man. I'm passionate. I like to go back and forth. I enjoy it. We went 40-some minutes last week, Terrence, and I didn't even realize we were going that long. I had looked up and said, God damn it, I'm almost at 3 hours. I had to jump off that then. I enjoy the back and forth. I like when people come and they argue specific points, and they argue their points in a way that makes sense, whether I agree with them or not. And so I get animated, and I think that's a part of what makes the show great, in my opinion. So if people want to say I'm on meds because I get animated, I accept that because I think that makes the show great.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a great show, man. You let everybody get their points off, even when they any points. But I get it. So I mean, I think the the chat had a good one today because I mean they were kind of confused. I know. I hope they tell this man he got to bring his A game, or at least his B game next week because that was terrible today. I'm sorry, Mr. Lettercook, but that was really bad. The one thing I will say about the PBC is, now you're talking about these pay-per-view numbers. I heard Floyd did an interview. And this was like 3 or 4 years after the fight. He still ain't got his money, right? And Jake Paul still ain't got his money from what I heard. So I don't know about these pay-per-view, this money trickling in or not, because, you know, that could be funny money when you talk about these back-end money. Anytime you say something back-end, I'll get skeptical, you know?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get Rachel Donero on here and get her to kind of clear up that aspect of it, right? Because I think that would be important. It's a fair push to say. My personal opinion is this, and I can't tell you. I do know for a fact though that there's a certain threshold that you gotta hit, and then you get back in money. That's for all contracts. The timing in which they get paid is what I think is in question. And my thoughts are, if you've done well over your threshold, then you should have received a payout within 6 weeks, 7 weeks. You know, and Ryan was a part of the 1.2. So obviously he got paid before 6 weeks when he did 1.2. Why hasn't he got paid now? That's my point, because he did it for the Gervonta Davis take. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. So let's get somebody on here that knows.
I think they were saying they ain't get paid nothing.
No, I think that was wrong though.
Did they get paid anything?
No, I think what they were saying, this was before Oscar De La Hoya, but at least before I saw Oscar De La Hoya say this. But I think what they were saying was they had gotten paid their guarantee. They hadn't gotten paid any back end. And I think these gentlemen thought that fight did much higher than what they're being communicated.
What was their guarantee in that? What was their guarantee?
They didn't. No one disclosed that, so I don't know. I'm not sure what their guarantee was. But
they got $1 million guarantee, and that's all the boys got paid. That'd be a shame, man.
I don't know.
I don't know what their guarantee is. But listen. When I was saying we don't know the pay-per-view numbers, I'm genuinely believe that, but we know it didn't do a whole lot.
Correct, and that's my only point.
We know it didn't do a whole lot.
That's my only point.
All I'm saying is we should wait until the official numbers come in.
I ain't waiting for no official numbers.
They're talking about the numbers. We know it, but you can't disprove them. That's the point I was trying to make last week. And until we have a source, one of these companies,
I have a source
that has to give us the correct numbers, because they're a corporation and they can't lie to their investors. Until somebody like that's accountable tells us the numbers, we don't know. That's the only point I've been making with the PBC for the long.
Didn't do though.
Why did Showtime never release the numbers, right?
So hold on. So this is my only argument against that, Terrence, and this is what I was talking to you about last week. When you are a pay-per-view star and you've done well, they're going to release those numbers. They're going to leak it, because most times the actual entity doesn't leak. They leak it to someone who else, like they'll leak it to a reporter, and that reporter leaks it, like puts it out, right?
Correct.
So what I'm saying is that over the last 24 months, right, the last 2 years, so since 2022, we've had Canelo Plant 800, Errol Terrence 700, Tank and Ryan Garcia 1.2, and then Mel and your boy Canelo 700, and then Munguia and Canelo did 500, right? Those have been put out there, right? And so with that being said, if those are the top 5, 6, right? If they did anywhere in that range, dog, you're gonna leak it, dog, because we already know that will put Ryan Garcia as a pay-per-view star. That's marketing. That's a dereliction of duty if you don't put that information out there to help promote your fighter. So we already know right there it did less than 500. That's all I'm saying, dog. That's it. Because that would make it a top pay-per-view performer in the last 2 years. There's no way you don't speak about that, dog. That's my point. Let's use our logic. Yes, we don't know exactly what the numbers are, but let's not dismiss our logic and our reasoning and understanding in that there's enough information out there for us to know that, hey, if it exceeded this number, it would have been released. That's my only point.
Easily.
But here's the thing. But sometimes, there's people that report wildly different numbers, even when they said that they had a good pay-per-view.
Yeah. That's why
there are other people reporting that they did bad.
Yeah, but there's always Rick Glaser's an asshole.
How the hell do we know who's telling the truth?
No. You dismiss anything Rick Glaser says. So there's always when you see a consensus on a number, because usually there's a consensus on a number around a certain area. That's the number you roll with. That's the reason why the 1.2 has stood. Bleacher Report reported 1.2 for Tank versus Ryan Garcia. So that's the number you roll with.
But Greg, is it possible that Bleacher Report got it from the same place this guy got it from? So all of them could have got it from essentially the same source.
Yeah, usually, but that's not what reporters do. Reporters validate sources, dog. That's not what reporters do.
No, I'm just saying, we don't know. If nobody's releasing a source, it could be essentially coming from one source who could be lying.
Sure, but
because they're not held accountable.
Yeah, but reporters are held.
Nobody's held accountable. That's my problem. And we use this to block fights. My biggest issue is just like with Tank right now. You can't get a fight with Tank because what is he going to say? My numbers are so high. You got to bring something to the table. This is blocking fights.
Hold on.
And we haven't even concerned. Yeah.
No, Terence. So it's two things, right? So number one, reporters are held to a standard to fact check their source. So they want to get multiple sources when they confirm stuff. That's number one. Now, you do have certain reporters that are pulling from other information like Michael Benson. But guys like, what's the dude name? Mike Coppinger. That guy is not copying from another guy, right? You know, cats like Jake Donovan, he'll source that he got it from somebody. Or Jake got it from a direct source. That's usually how they operate, right? But now, when you start talking about these numbers are blocking fights, no, they're not. Because when you start negotiating, dog, you have to actually show numbers. Like, nobody's just believing what you did. Like, you have to. I'm pretty sure, and that's why we need to get Rachel Donaire on here. But just my business mind would tell me that you have to show what you've done in your pay-per-view numbers when you go to the negotiating table. You just can't pull a number out of thin air and then you go in there and argue with, because they can say we did 1.3. No, you got to show that you did 1.3.
So when you say show, and I'm asking you this, Greg. So when you say show, do you mean an actual source, meaning that the actual company that would be in trouble, they're telling them this is the actual numbers? Is that what you're saying?
Hold on. Say that one more time.
So,
sorry.
So when you, let's say Bud's sitting down right there with Errol, right? They're sitting down for actual negotiation.
Yeah.
And Bud says, "Shit, I know you said you did 350 on that fight. I don't believe it." Now he says, "Okay, I'm gonna show you." So is Showtime giving him something to Bud and saying, "Okay, here it is. We're gonna Showtime here. Release this number to Bud." Is that what he's doing? And if he's doing that, that'll be illegal because he's getting inside information that the general public's not getting. Why would Bud be privy to that information exactly if they're not releasing to the other investors? How would that be fair? Bud could be, he could use that to invest. So I'm confused when you say that they're getting these actual numbers, how they're getting them.
So inside information, so you're confusing inside information. Inside information is information that hasn't been made public in anything. But when you start talking about, when you start talking about Paramount does their Qs and their Ks, bro. So they're disclosing their revenues and everything in their Qs and their Ks. So if like Errol did 350,000 buys last quarter, dude, they've already disclosed their revenues and stuff like that, dog. So the general public knows their overall revenue. You're a specific event like a boxing event that's 350,000 is not going to move the needle for an investor that's investing in the overall company. You're confusing those two things, and the revenue has already been stated in their Qs and their Ks, bro. So that's not something that's not insider information. So yes, they can sit down and talk about, we actually did this amount of pay-per-view buys. We did this gate. We did this pay-per-view buys. You did this gate. You did this pay-per-view buys. This is what the split should be. Yes,
Well,
that's
I'm
not.
saying, but Greg, how does Bud know they telling the truth at that point?
You open the books. They're books. They track that stuff. There's an
So
accounting
Paramount
of
is
the
opening the books of Bud. Is that what you're saying?
They're not opening the dude. This is like project accounting. Like that whole thing should have its own set of books. That one project should have its own set of books. That one, I'm assuming this. I don't know exactly how they do their accounting, but as an accounting professional, I would say that these things would be handled as a project, and you would have certain revenues and expenditures associated with that one project, and you would be able to track that one project without seeing the entire books of Paramount. Plus, Paramount puts their whole books out there anyway. They're for public consumption. They're Q's in their case.
Exactly. And Greg,
so it doesn't matter.
That's why I'm saying, why won't they just release the numbers to the public? You're absolutely right. That's been my argument the whole time, and that would kill everything. If Paramount said, "Okay, we did 300,000 or a million buys," everybody would agree. No one would say they're lying because they can't lie.
Terrence, Paramount is a $1 billion company. Boxing doesn't move the needle for a Q or a K. They don't give a shit. I'm saying
so why one time they do it then?
because they don't give a shit. The one time they talked about a boxing event was Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia because it moved the needle. That's why I believe the 1.2 is accurate. Because it was so big that they had to disclose it because it affected their top line revenue and they overperformed. So they called it out in their Q's and their K's. But they don't just simply talk about pay-per-view numbers. They don't give a fuck about boxing fans like that so that they can prove the numbers. Who cares?
I'm saying their partners might, while they might not, the PBC might care about it, right?
Man,
it's big to them.
PBC,
if they want to use that as leverage for their fighters, wouldn't they have a reason to do it?
It's not leverage because when you sit down and negotiate, you still going to have to show your books. You're going to have to prove you're doing the numbers. Greg, so it doesn't matter what number you throw out there.
You keep saying that, Greg, but we don't know what you mean by that because again, when they say they're going to say yes, we did this amount of numbers, but they're not held accountable if they're lying to the fighter. So are they able to sue if you're lying about the numbers?
This is what I'm saying. I'm saying that these dudes have an account for every fight that they're doing. So if you have a part of that, they are tracking that. Now, what I think I'm hearing you say is that, they can lie about that too. Now, if you're saying, if that's what you're trying to say, that they're lying about that, then you have your own team of people that can review that stuff. And I'm pretty sure there are ways to back into that number to validate whether it's correct or not. Meaning, if we, and I'm going to use this as an example, just from my personal experience. Somebody can tell us that their stuff, I'm going to use my last company as an example. They were telling us that it cost them X dollars to manufacture a product for us, right? This was right in the middle of the pandemic. They had my team, or I had my team. They came to me and I had my team do an analysis to back into what their number should be to see if that number made sense. So dog, there's ways to confirm without actually seeing. Like, yes, I can't open their books and see their stuff, but that's the reason why I say that there's ways to back into and say, is this a reasonable number? Yes or no. We do it all the time. So nobody's just.
But that's the thing. If they can always lie about previous. Let's say they're lying about previous pay-per-views. I mean, I'm sure that's going to be a part of the analysis, the back-end analysis. You're going to look at past performances. But if they've been lying about it all along, then that's wrong. You know what I'm saying? So when you say the analysis when it comes to a boxing match, it's tough because like what Tank did with what's the kid named just before he fought Rolly. Who did he fight? That only did 56,000. But then the next time he fights Garcia, and that's 1.2. You see the differential?
Who did 56,000? No, he did 275,000 with Rolly.
Not Rolly, the one before Rolly. I forgot his name. The one he knocked to the head, and that was the end of the fight.
Yeah, you talking about what's the dude name? Shit, he moved up. I know you're talking about. I'm losing this.
Yeah,
right now,
yeah,
too.
but we know who we're talking about. But he only did 56. So you have a 56, a 250, and then a 1.2 million. It's hard to say, okay, yeah, well, we agree that this is why this did 1.2. And especially when Ryan the next week, he couldn't even sell out an arena. We say, oh, it's because he's fought Ryan. But the next week, Ryan his next fight, he didn't even sell out the arena. So I understand what you're saying with analysis, but sometimes there is no analysis. They're just believing what these people are saying because, like you're saying, everybody's reporting the same thing. And they could be doing it from the same source. I mean, but it would be so much easier if the companies just came out and, as a standard practice, say, this is what they did pay-per-view-wise. Then we don't have no arguments, no debates. Everything's done. Everybody believes the company, and it's over. Why can't we have that? Why aren't you pushing for that, Greg?
Why am I not
Why
pushing
aren't
for
you
what?
pushing?
Pushing for what?
Why are other content creators pushing for that?
For them to release numbers?
Yes, for the companies that would be held liable if they're lying about the numbers. Why aren't we pushing to have them release the numbers so we as fans, we don't care about. Now we know if a person did all of those pay-per-views, okay, the other guy has to negotiate. He's the A side or whatever. But if you won a pay-per-view battle by maybe 50,000 pay-per-views, 20,000 pay-per-views, then you don't have that much leverage. That's all I'm saying. I just want to see the fights, and I'm getting tired of, quite frankly, hearing about pay-per-views because really I don't give a shit about what the pay. I just want to see the fight. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's all the fans want is to see the fight, and we don't know because all y'all talk about is goddamn pay-per-view numbers.
Hey, so real quick, and shout out to Tunnel Vision for putting this in the chat, but the Muhammad Ali Act prevents promoters from lying to fighters about financial information. Promoters must disclose financial information to boxers, including the amount of money the promoter will earn from the bout, all revenue sources, and how the boxer's purse is calculated. Promoters must provide this information to fighters before the bout contracts are signed. So this information is available, and the fighter that is in the negotiations with the other fighter has that information, and it's a federal crime to not provide that information. So Terence, when they go to
wait, hold on,
table, they have
to provide pay-per-view numbers. How do I'm sorry? How
revenue
how
numbers?
does,
Revenue numbers are tied to
revenue.
Yes, it is. Revenue. Yes, it is. Revenue numbers are from pay-per-views. So if they charge you $79 and the revenues were $50 million.
No, you're not understanding what I'm saying, though, Greg. I understand that. If they actually fought, I understand what Tunnel was saying. But we're talking about a separate fight that had nothing to do with their other fight. This is them reporting pay-per-view numbers from a separate fight that had nothing to do. You're telling me that that he knows for certain that the Muhammad Ali covers that they got to tell the truth about pay-per-view numbers from another fight.
So
I want proof of that because I don't know if that covers that or not.
The fighters will have their own personal information, so they'll have the information as well. It has to be disclosed to them, which means they have it. So Errol has what he made and the revenues and everything, and Terence has what he made, and they come together. Now that would mean that the fighters would also be lying.
Okay, so no. So as Terence says to them, well, how much did Errol do his last pay-per-view? And they say 350,000 buys. And you're telling me that if he did 275 or 200,000 buys, that now he's in breach of the Muhammad Ali Act. And if that's so, what proof do you have of that? Because that's not a direct, you know what I'm saying? That's indirect at best of what he did in his last pay-per-view. That's indirect at best. But that's not a direct evidence that you're lying to a fighter. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's a violation of Muhammad Ali. And if it is, I want proof of that. When has that ever happened?
But here's where this is where you're starting to lose me, right? Because there's a preponderance of evidence that is out there that would suggest that these fighters will have the information available to them, right? And what you're doing is being a conspiracy theorist right now by basically saying that. No, I'm not. Yeah, you are. By saying because you want direct, indisputable proof that a fighter can't lie. And to me, there's enough evidence out there that would suggest that when they come together for negotiations, that it would be fairly stupid to try to lie about the actual numbers that a fight did, dog. So let's do this. Let's do this.
But the thing is, these numbers are already out. Like you just said, the consensus it's been 350,000 in that fight. You have this source report and that source report. And that's what they're going to say. Well, this is what it did. You think if it really did 150, they're going to say, oh, no, it really only did 150,000.
Bro.
Come on, bro. Y'all need to stop, bro.
Bro, listen. There's enough information out there from cable providers that these guys have relationships with, so forth and so on, to validate and back into those numbers, man. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Terrence. These guys have relationships with cable companies. When Leonard Ellerby says he knows what the numbers are, it's a reason why he's saying that, because they got a pretty good idea already of what they did. Just like Terence Crawford got a pretty good idea of what Errol Spence them did. Like you're making to me, I don't understand this topic, bro. I really don't. And that's what I'm saying. I would like to get Rachel Donaire on here so she can explain to you exactly how it works. But there's enough evidence out there that would make me comfortable that there's no fighter that's going into negotiations completely blind or can be completely fooled by what somebody else is telling them. Yeah, we did 2 million pay-per-view buys or whatever. There's source information out there that they can use to validate that. Just like as a business person in my company, there are ways to validate whether or not something that someone is trying to charge me is a valid cost. There are ways to do that, dog, without actually seeing. I got to see your books directly. There's ways to do that.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
That's the thing, Greg. I'm not saying they have to see their books. All they have to do is the company release what the numbers were. How simple is that? Why are we arguing about whether we should not have these companies release the pay-per-view numbers? I don't get it. Why am I getting pushback on that? If they release the numbers, we know what the numbers are, and we can move on.
But Terrence, they release some of the numbers. They don't just do it all right. None of these promotional companies.
I agree that they don't. Why not?
For what? Even when they do, they don't. But
so we don't have to hear about these. We don't have to debate about what the numbers. Right now, aren't we debating about what Haney did?
So if PBC releases the number, are you gonna believe it? No, if PBC releases
because PBC is not accountable. I said it's got to be a corporation that's accountable to their investors. So Showtime couldn't do that. Paramount can't do that. They can't lie. I'm saying
Showtime was not a public entity before Paramount bought them. I'm pretty sure they were.
Yeah, they had yes, they were.
Showtime
they had investors,
they had their own stock. Okay, that might be true. I have no idea. But my point is, every boxing event is not through a public entity.
Okay, well then those we can't get, but the ones that are, let's at least make them accountable to release the numbers, and then we're done with it.
No, because $1 billion company doesn't give a shit about boxing. I've said this already. They're not going to go out of their way to announce fucking pay-per-view numbers. Pay-per-view numbers that do not move their top line revenue. Terrence, they're not going to do it. I've worked for $1 billion companies. I'm not going to talk about the smallest fucking brand that we have in our business to report those revenues because Terrence wants to know it.
Well, hey, I don't care about the numbers, but if that's stopping a fight that I want to see because the person's saying, I did this and I did these numbers and we need more money. That's the only reason I care about it, Greg. I don't care about it. But they're blocking fights.
Hold on.
We got to pay Tank and we got to pay Canelo all this money. And they demanded all this money because they did all of these pay-per-view numbers that we don't know if they're accurate.
Pause. Terrence, you going in circles, bro. 1 minute you said you just want the fight. Let me finish. 1 minute you said that you want the companies to just
wanted you to fight.
But let me finish. Then you're saying that, they're using these numbers that are out there to block fights. And I'm telling you that these guys are not getting fights blocked. In your mind, fights are being blocked because they're saying this. But when they go to the negotiation table, Terrence, those numbers, they're guys
not even already... okay, wait, Greg, let me just stop you there. Let's say, so Shakur want to fight Tank. He's not getting to no negotiation table because he's saying he ain't doing no numbers. I'm doing all these numbers. He's not even making it to the negotiation table because Tank's doing all these numbers.
Terrence.
And we don't even know if he did all these numbers.
Pause. You don't know.
Yeah.
Those guys that are
we don't know. You don't either, Greg.
pause.
Yeah.
Those guys that are in the industry do. They already have a pulse on what these guys are doing. So regardless if they're at the negotiation table or not, they know what Shakur is doing. Shakur knows what Tank is doing. That's why Shakur said you think they're just taking these guys' word for it. Are you that gullible, or you think those guys are that gullible that they're just simply taking the words of PBC?
Pretty much, because it's not coming from the actual company, and they're not liable if they're telling the wrong. They're lying. I'm not saying if he said they did 1.2 million, I'm not saying it really did 50,000. I know it's around maybe 8 or 9, but that's still pushing the numbers to a point where it's making some fights impossible, because they're going to be able to use that to say, this guy don't sell nothing. I'm doing all these pay-per-views. What does he bring to the table? And that would be, and all I'm saying is, if the companies released that were liable for these numbers, then as a fan, we can say to Shakur, he did those numbers, bro. The
operative word was as a fan. But what I'm telling you, that your fandom doesn't matter, and that the people who are in the industry know what the numbers are, and the fights are not being stopped because Tank said he did 1.2 if he didn't actually do 1.2. That's what I'm telling you. You want it for your own personal consumption, but it's not stopping fights. That's the difference. Make that delineation.
I don't know about that. That's what I'm saying. You don't know about that.
You don't know.
Tank is using
You don't know.
Tank is using
You don't know.
I'm not talking. Tank's using that to duck people. Oh, I did this. You're nothing. So I don't have to fight you. You don't.
And you know what? And you know what? And you know what? Shakur being an insider and knowing that his people know what those numbers are, or at least a good approximation what those numbers are, he not even pushing back because he knows he's nothing. Now let's move on. You got anything else to talk about? Because I done won this argument.
All right, Greg. I'll let you get that one.
I appreciate you, Terrence, man. It's always good when you call in, bro. I appreciate you.
Shout out to the chat. Shout out, Jason. All right. Y'all have a good weekend.
All right, man. Later.
All right, later.
All right, man. So let's go ahead and drop a poll, man. Did Terrence and Jerry get cooked today? I feel like them boys got cooked today, boy. They got cooked. Jason, I'm sorry. I did a lot of talking, man. I saw people in the chat saying I'm doing a lot of talking, man. I apologize, man. But they always come in, they attack me. They don't never attack you. They love Jason. They hate Greg. You got any comments?
Tired, boss. Tired, boss. My head hurt from going in circles on that with Terrence, man. My God.
Yeah, Terrence was going in a circle, man. And he was not understanding what exactly. Well, I won't say he wasn't understanding. He was just going in a circle, man. But it's all
he was
good.
just going in a circle. 1 minute's pay-per-views, what numbers? Next minute's not. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
Everybody was doing the same thing. My head hurt. Their head hurt. It was. I mean, at least he wasn't yelling.
Man, Jerry, come on here, man. Jerry, come on here and get cooked every week. I cook him in the Discord. I cook him on here. And every week he come in like he winning. I'm like, you're not winning. I don't know what you're doing. Now, there was one topic, Jay, that we didn't talk about, and that was the PBC and whether or not PBC and Errol Spence then was at the end of an era. We didn't get the chance to talk about that. But I do feel like it's the end of the era. And it's not necessarily, I feel like Mel, and I tried to articulate this in the video. It's not like I felt like Mel or Errol is not going to have the opportunity to still be successful in the sport. I believe they still had the opportunity to be successful in the sport. But I do feel like that era where those guys were like the top upper echelon, that group of fighters, Errol, Mel, Maul, Gervonta, even though Gervonta's still up there. We just saw Adrian Broner lose, Deontay Wilder. It just feels like an era it's gone, and so it's time for the next crop of fighters to come up. And I know you look at that next crop of fighters more than I do, and you might have a better idea who's going to be that next person. But I wanted to get your thoughts on that because I know you weren't on the video.
Nah, I mean that era is leaving off. I mean, even though Bud didn't sustain the loss. Bud is kind of like in a trap between a rock and a hard place because he didn't have much years left in the fight game. So if he wants to be undisputed at a third weight class, Canelo saying no, he has to go through at least 2 or 3 fights to get that at 154. Does he have it in him? Does he doesn't need it necessarily as far as financially. He's set in that aspect there. But he's still on with the same era as Spence in them. So I mean, yeah, that era is going away. If I'm Boots, I agree with a lot of people in the chat. If I'm Boots, I'm going to 154. I'm going to 154 to block Spence and Bud because I want them to come through me. I couldn't get him at 147. There's no one else at 147 worth a damn, honestly, to give him some name on his resume to that level. Thurman is injured all the time. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, not too many people there. Virgil's at 154. So what you going to do, fight Blair Cobb? So, I mean, I would go to 154 if I'm Boots, but Boots is on that next level. Although he has 31 fights, he's still one of the newer guys. Tank is again up in age at being 29. Shakur is at 26. He still hasn't gotten a real name on his resume. He had a stinker in his last fight, whether he was injured or not. On that, then the young guns, like Abdullah Mason, Shushu just fought last night. Those guys are coming up, and they really want to fight each other ASAP. But we'll see. We'll see what happens on. But yeah, that era is pretty much towards the end.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. We'll see what ends up happening there. So once again, man, I just want to say great show. I hope it was a great show for you guys. If you haven't had the opportunity yet, please hit the like button so people can find the content. Please also consider becoming a member. $2.99 a month. It definitely helps this channel to continue to produce great content. And consider giving to the channel. It again helps to keep this channel rolling. So I appreciate everybody that contributed to the channel today. Not only from a dollar perspective, but also from call-ins. I know I get loud, I get passionate about the sport of boxing, but for me, it's all fun. I saw somebody say, I think they said something like, "I'm mad." I'm never mad about this. I don't get mad about it. I just enjoy the back and forth with cats like Terence, with cats like Jerry, with cats like Band Up. And even like with Tunnel Vision and those guys, when they call in and stuff like that, just to hear like the logic and the reason and the rationale for why they believe what they believe, whether I agree with it or not. Yeah, exactly, Javon, 10,007. That's why it's called the Angry Man. As a matter of fact, if Ryan, you still in the building? My boy Ryan was the inspiration behind me coming up with the whole Angry Man podcast, because as Ryan know, back in college, they called me Angry Man, and Jason is one of the angriest people I know. And I was like, man, that's a perfect show name for us. Shout out to Ryan for that. Yeah, Greg doesn't get mad, he gets angry. Yeah, that's it, exactly. I get angry, but I'm not mad. I'm not pissed off. Man, appreciate everybody for joining the show. It was a great show today. Jay, anything else you wanna share with the people before we roll out?
It's fight week, y'all. It's fight week. A great card coming up this Saturday on June 15th with Tank, and then Sabrina Matias also fighting on another card separately on June 15th as well. So we got a good fight week that's coming in. Yeah, I be catching strays, Rafa. Like Greg tried to do those strays last week with the whole. He been injecting and shit, but ask Greg about that right arm of his.
Greg, Jerry Soriano, my lender for life. People think Jerry say I don't remember dropping. What was I saying N-word last week?
Oh hell yeah, I was listening while I was unpacking. Oh yeah, you see y'all. Those are meds that he was on. The meds. That's the shit he was on last week.
So my apologies to everybody in the chat if I was dropping N-bombs yesterday. Last week I was getting a little bit too comfortable apparently. Yeah, apparently I was getting a little bit. I don't remember dropping N-bombs
last week.
I know I was cussing. I know I was cussing.
I heard that would affect the Osterine and clenbuterol.
Hey Ryan, do you want to call in and validate whether or not Jason used to pump drugs in his booty cheek when he was
Hey, stop that shit, man! Stop that shit!
Hey, you remember the program? You remember when the white boy went? You remember when the white boy with the long hair went in there and got the injection?
Bullshit.
Hold on.
Hey, don't have me get you on a defamation lawsuit to my partner.
Hey, when you all you gonna be doing is suing our LLC. So you suing for the you suing when you sue me, you suing you. Anyway, hold on. So let me say what Jerry said. So Jerry gave $5. Appreciate you, Jerry. Greg, how many pay-per-view buys for Tank versus Martin Will? The 14 million plus gate. I got receipts on the Discord. Let him cook. I don't know how many it's gonna do. I said 500 plus. If it doesn't do that, then we got a problem. But again, as I mentioned before, I said that there's a correlation, and I specifically said that seldom do they deviate. Seldom. I didn't say it was 100%. I said seldom. Jesus Christ. Man. Jesus Christ. But anyway, I appreciate everybody that called in. I like the passion from Terence.
The fact that he don't give numbers.
Yeah, well, Jerry said it's going to do 1.5. He still hasn't conceded that, and he don't even talk about that. He come in there and talk about all other crazy stuff. But
he moved the goalposts. He gaslight.
Shout out to
he be gaslighting.
Oh, there go Jay Measy and John Mack in the building. Jay Measy, John Mack and I be battling in the Discord too, but we be going at it, boy. Jay Mack and I, boy, especially by Terence Crawford, boy. Ooh, we go at it. But yeah, man. No, appreciate everybody that joined the show today. Shout out to Terrence Best Damn Videos. I did like how he came in passionate, boy. And if Jerry wants to debate you next week, all you got to do is join the Discord, and you two can get on and debate off on the Discord. It'll be live on here because we can't get more than one caller, but we can have more than one people on the voice Discord so people can hear you. And you can call in through the Discord and communicate in that manner, and y'all can go at it. I would love to see Jerry versus Terrence in the Discord. That'll be entertaining. So yeah,
versus Bud fan.
Yeah, Bud fan versus Bud fan. But I got my money on Terrence because his arguments actually be making sense sometimes. Like Jerry arguments sometimes, I'm like, man, what Jerry talking about? But anyway, appreciate y'all. Set up the debate on the grand stage live at the barbecue. I'm ready when you are. Okay, all right. Okay, I see it. Okay, all right. We got a battle getting ready to go. But anyway, we appreciate y'all. Let me give shouts out to everybody, Jason, that gave to the channel today. Shout out to Molly Mall 199, Barbara D, Impress Sports Channel 199, Blake Gill 499, Barbara D again $5, Impress Poet 199, and ASVP TV 199. Hold up. And Jerry $5. Appreciate y'all. We'll catch y'all next week. We're going to start covering the fight this week. And then, of course, we're going to be live this week. I might go ahead and get on one day for a live rant. We'll see. But until next time, peace.
Peace.